Shoot. I'm live. Look at that. No intro because I was on the phone just before the live started. And so you don't get to watch my intro. I was doing, patting my head, rubbing my tummy, doing all sorts of things. Oh, here I'm laughing at myself saying it again because I just need to go turn down the YouTube. There we go. So welcome everyone. Yay. Let's just go through the chat, say some hellos to everybody that's come in. Shiny Grove Saturday night has arrived. Storms. Radios and Cats says, yo, ladies. And he said, hello, Passamaquoddy. Welcome. Good to see you here. CC's Texas Gardens. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Carol, South Florida Sunshine.
Hey, don't forget your dirt merch. Your dirt merch is available.
I'm not wearing any merch today. I'm in a stripy outfit.
Yeah, I like your stripy outfit though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure. I've got you open and it's playing your commercials. I just don't want it to go blam. Okay, I think the volume is.
And Miss Sharon, our moderator extraordinaire. Welcome.
Indeed.
And there we go. And Garden Warrior, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, listening and working. I don't think you ever stop working. Oh, that's right, because you're a single mom. You never stop working.
That's right.
Number one, you're a woman, you're a mom, and then you put single mom, then it's like, yeah, it's just like from dawn until dusk. Oh, you'll be here till your meds kick in.
Right.
Please share your meds for everyone in the chat. We would all like some because if it's going to make us rest, I'm on a very tight sleepy thing here because I am still dealing with mice in my home. And so there was one in my bedroom again last night. So I did what I could to try to coax it out to run into some of the traps, and it didn't. And I'd get up and I had sticks and I'm under my couch and I'm under the bed. I'm poking around, hoping it would scurry out. And, they're supposed to go along edges of things.
Yeah.
And no, this one likes to run from underneath my bed across the room. And you're like,
oh, that's
hey,
terrifying.
Miss J.K. Gardner, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Brampton Gardner, hello. You're still awake, which I should go and I'm just going to go and.
I'm so sorry, Passamaquoddy. So she had a rough day today. Feels like a Monday. I have to pray for Passamaquoddy's younger brother. He's in the hospital. So all of the prayer warriors, just, and prayers to comfort Passamaquoddy for right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Cece. Hey, everybody. Hey, I hear your Mama Washington's in here. Hi, Mama Washington, if you're out there.
Yep. She is still here.
Good.
Brampton says she's got 10 minutes. Push.
What? Hey, 10 minutes?
Hey, God's desire for me. Thank you for coming in. So
I wanted. Sweet. He gave me time. It's like almost time, Carol. I'm like, I know. I'm trying to get Malachi to sleep. I know. Thank you, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. So I, I was thinking about what I wanted to do about on my live, and so at 3:15 in the morning when I'm.
Yes, I know that feeling. Oh, we lost. Can't hear you. Yeah, it just dropped.
Okay, there.
There you are.
It didn't show me that I had dropped yet. Usually it shows me and I get a little error message or whatever. And anyway, so at 3:15 in the morning, it was like, I'm paying an exterminator to come for 2 months to my home. He has collected a few friends from my home.
Not friends.
I'm just trying to be kind of.
Oh, he collected the friends. Yes. I thought you meant there's more friends. I'm sorry. Sorry. I had my special medicine too tonight.
So he up in the attic. That's where the rats are. Mice don't like to be where rats are, apparently. I've learned that. Hey, the
Oh,
bud files.
okay. That's good to know.
So up in the attic is the rats, but in my part of the house are the mice.
Frenemies.
The
mice and the rats.
Yeah, so that it was just like, okay, like I'm not a yes, they startle me, but I'm not afraid to catch them. And I have, I've caught lots outside in the back, and I and now I've got there's traps everywhere and all different kinds of traps. And I even went and bought a new one on the weekend or yesterday and put that one out. I was like, whatever kind I can get. Yeah, the problem with cats is they like chickens.
Yeah, they might want to ride on one of her chickens and then kind of turn it on its side and do something to it. That's not too nice.
Yeah, they'll go, "Here, Mom, I brought you one of the chickens for dinner tonight. Aren't I a good kitty?"
Oh my goodness.
And I'm allergic to them as well, unfortunately. I like to watch cat videos, and I like to look at them, but that's as much as it is.
I would love one. Same thing. Allergic, and we don't have a place to put their little potty, and I'm working on somebody else potty training. I don't need to work on a cat potty training in our toilet.
No, you don't. So that spurred me on to go, this has been going on for so this has been going on for so long, and it's just like, what do people do? What do they find that it's working? Because I do use the stickies. Hey, DCBs. I have snap traps. I do have the wooden traps. I now have one of those little silver boxes where it'll catch a whole bunch of them. I've got that kind. And some of them are sticky boxes, and some of them are just sticky mats. And
it was just my fork. I bet Maureen wishes it was a seed packet that somebody dropped, but they keep coming back.
They wish. Yes. Yeah, and these are little ones. I think they're babies. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about: is what do people do for different difficulties? Because we do have struggles all the time. In our gardens, in our homes. So I'm having problems with my rats. I'm having problems somewhat with motivation. Right now, Marissa is away at the Sevens on the mainland in Vancouver, and then she's heading to Mexico. So I am unsupervised right now.
Oh no.
I know. And it
get wild.
It's right. Well, the problem is that when she works during the week, she gets up with the chickens. And so right now, me going to sleep at 3:30.
Yeah.
Me going to sleep at 3:30, I have to get up at 7:15 to let the ladies out, and then also dealing with Cleo. So there's lots of things that I have to do. So anyway, so I wanted to go through some talking points, and so some of the problems, and as we're going through, I'd love for you guys to all think of things that you're struggling with. And because I think as a community, we can all go, hey, I've had that problem too, and here was my solution.
Yeah.
Or we can just lament with you to go, I never had I have no solution for rats or for rodents. I have no solution. Yeah. It's just like time, have no food in your home,
Yeah. No way.
And because I live near a bog, to make a trap board, he said, take a bunch of snap traps and nail them to a piece of plywood.
Yeah. And I've seen them stick like a Slim Jim on it, like the meat sticks, but they stick it on there so they can't just get in and take it.
Right.
They somehow
my mom and I talked about that, gluing it, because the first couple that I would have caught would have been with the peanut butter. And then they started going, we don't like the peanut butter. So then I thought, okay, fine. I'm going to add some chicken feed or chicken treats to it because you guys like that. And they go, no, we're too bougie. We don't want that. So anyway, so yes, pests taking over in your garden or in your house.
Have fun with your disgusting topic. It could be any struggle. It doesn't have to be disgusting like rats and mice, right?
No. Yeah. Look I'm talking about common pests. Aphid, squash bugs, tomato hornworms, which I have never seen a tomato hornworm. Mom, if you're still on, have you seen
Really?
a tomato hornworm? Well, I've seen them, but not on my tomatoes.
Not
I've
up
never had them.
there? I wonder if the
Uh-uh.
moth isn't like a big thing up in your area.
Mm-mm. Maybe not.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
pests
and
are gross. I agree. Yes, they
yeah,
are.
they
They can
are.
be for sure.
Yeah. So organic solutions that you can use for these, of course, are neem oil, diatomaceous earth, companion planting, which I do a lot of companion planting. How much can you
Mhm.
stuff in a garden bed? Put it all in there. And then, of course, encouraging beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings. My thing is, again, when I first started growing, because I didn't know anything, I go,
Mhm.
I like flowers that smell nice, and I like things that will bring
Right.
in butterflies, dragonflies, hummingbirds. And so when I would go buy some of those flowers and perennials, that's exactly what I would buy. So, mm, yes. My
Yeah.
that's my problem is like this is almost a 3,000 square foot house. And so
Yeah.
then to find where
Where that
they
little teeny tiny, yeah, it doesn't take
yes.
much. They can squeeze
No.
through very, very
Yeah.
small spaces
Yes. Yeah. And it's like and
and
they
cracks.
moved
Yeah.
they do like my pantry off the kitchen. So that's their favorite place. That's where and
Mm.
I've caught a few there, but that's where the bougie ones they go, no, we're not going there. Um, and then they came in here into the office because Marissa had some bags of herbs that they liked, and so
Oh, no.
they ripped those open.
Not
So,
her herbs.
mhm,
Oh,
yeah.
those are
So
not cheap.
just a few of them, and then but everything else she's now
Okay.
put into a bin and that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be great if I could figure out where, because then yeah, I went okay in my pantry. Let's just put a concrete floor in the over top of
Mhm.
the wood, just lay
Right?
concrete. You know,
So
like
he didn't
concrete.
find any when he was there helping you take a few away, the man or person who came to help?
No, I take them out from my house. He takes them from the attic. He goes when he goes up in the attic, that's where he finds them.
Okay, okay.
I get rid of them right away. As soon as I catch one, it's gone. Like I don't have an
Yeah.
issue. So
One of the
I
things
did
too with bugs and rats here is you cut your stuff away from your house. You
yes.
do not let any of your plants touch
Yeah.
because
They
that's
can
what they
still
crawl
climb up
over
the
on.
walls. And yes, I've got
Yeah,
a magnolia that is reaching over and I do need to
right.
go and trim that.
But
So
rats have a thing for the trees here, and that's how a lot of times they gain their
yeah.
access to your attic,
Yeah, this
is
is
through a
these
branch.
are roof rats is what they're
Yep,
called. So they're not as
we have
big.
those. Right.
The one
No,
that
they're
I
almost like mice. We have them too. That's the ones we have too.
yeah, they're quite big.
But
But the
ugly. But they
one
do get, yeah, our the one that died in my cabinet was like this big, about this big right in
oh
front of me.
yeah,
The cabinet that was supposed to block the rats from getting into my stuff. And then
mhm,
one died right on the shelf at eye level. And it was like, okay, so obviously this is not going to work. And it smells like pee in here.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. So I'm gonna show you a picture of this is called a Norway rat. And this one
Oh,
he's just sleeping. Um,
yeah. He's taking a little
he's just having
nappy.
a sleep. But there you can see my hand with it.
Yeah,
Like
they're bigger. Mm-hmm.
it's they have a shorter tail, but they're bigger and they're kind of this
Mm-hmm.
gray color. So he's
Yeah.
been around for a while, but he got tired, and so he's just having a good sleep right now.
Okay. She hasn't
He's
heard
just
me either.
sleeping. He's just
He's
having a
just
sleep.
taking a little nap. Yeah, he's tired.
Okay, Okanagan is hotter there. So yeah, so
Okay,
you've
that
got
makes sense.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah, you know, and that.
Maybe
So
moth
yeah,
might not make the trip up there that brings them.
mhm.
Is it
Well,
a hawk moth, I
I
believe?
so for me, I'm south, and then the
Right.
Okanagan is here, and then my mom is up higher. So
Okay.
it's just this is desert, like it's desert. Okanagan is you see
Oh.
tumbleweed and stuff. So
Oh, okay.
I'm in a rainforest, and my mother lives in the North Pole, basically.
Okay, she's in the North Pole and Okanagan is the Sahara Desert.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So they're probably like looking for a place as they're traveling. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Shawnee Grows
Hello,
in her dirt merch.
I do have good dirt merch.
And here's me with none. And usually I have it like, usually my mug has got it, my shirt, my hat. No, I was stripey girl today. So another issue that we go into is we see too wet, too dry, or lacking nutrients, and that can be another difficult problem. I think. Well, I know myself. I suffer more with too dry. Yes and no. It's just because it's like watering is expensive, and so I can have some moments that are drying. So your solutions would be come up with some drainage solutions with raised bed, some compost amendments, mulching to retain the moisture, which is why I use wood chips and straw. And you can make some do-it-yourself soil tests to how to fix imbalances. But in all honesty, that's not something like for me. It would be like, yeah, that's too much work. Poo-poo juice is magic. I know it stinks. But even when I know that when you have, like when the Grazon kind of little epidemic was GT. Oh, hi, buddy.
And Laura also came in. I tried to pop it up, but you were popping your thing up at the same time. Laura's Garden.
Hey, Laura's Garden and more. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you. So I remember when Jess was dealing with the Grazon and it wiped out her entire high tunnel. Using compost tea was a way to cure it, and that was even what I've seen for myself here is when I've had poor soil brand new soil that I've purchased and it's not good. I find that adding in the compost, the poo-poo juice, really brings back the healing, and it's that balance of carbon and nitrogen. So another big problem, of course, is weather changes, droughts, late frost, and storms. I suffered but my challenge last year was the temperature being cold all the time, not being normal. Nighttime temperatures would be cold, and then it would be like, warm in the day, 80s in the day, and then it would go down below 50 or below during the night. And so the plants would go, no, we must not grow. And then the day, oh yes, we will grow. And so it became a real challenge. And that's where I'm learning to pay attention to the weather. Yeah. And if it means that I need to put a frost cloth over it just to keep them warmer through the night, then so be it. Right.
Right.
What were you
and you dealt with the boggy soil too, over in the other place too. Much, much wetter than you expected. Slightly.
It was a flood.
Just a little.
So again, it's like protect your plants from unexpected frost using covers and cold frames. And I save all that Reme cloth and stuff. The drought solutions, deep watering techniques, rainwater collection, which I do collect, and staking and planting windbreaks. I don't have we do have some wind in the summertime. It's not too bad.
Right.
So, another issue that I am dealing with right now, as some of you might know, broody hens and chicken drama. I'm hoping I caught Cleo today with some videoing, because I have been letting her walk around in my house, and I just walk around with some paper towel and the whole container of bleach to wipe her up. But that if I'm at the computer, she'll be in the dining room behind me, and I'll hear, and it's like, what? Do you want to go outside?
Funny.
Yes, so she does.
It's good exercise for her too, and she was doing so much better in that one video. Watching her move around, so much stronger than she's been. So it was good to see.
Yeah, the one that's coming out on Monday, I think, or even just today's the one where you can see her doing some digging. She's not tripping back. So if you were to see her now, you'd go, okay, that's like night and day. Compared to her little bit of like, oh, I'm out walking. Now she's like, yeah, it's my yard. So anyway, so the broody hens and the chicken drama, and I'm dealing with right now, and again, I will have a video coming out about it, in 2 to 3 weeks or so, dealing with doughy crop, because that's one of the reasons why she's still in, because she's not gaining weight because her crop is so filled with yeast. And so it's taken a couple of weeks in finding the right method and medication, but the medication, like I'm using yeast cream, like women's yeast cream, and she gets injected into her mouth. But I have another little concoction of a lemon juice that I'll show how to make. And today, the doughy ball was maybe about this big, and this afternoon I felt it, and it was like, oh, you have a normal crop. But I'm not gonna stop giving it to her quite yet. I will keep going.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Yeah, so that's some of my drama. How to safely break a broody hen. I do have a couple of videos on that. It does sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I've got the chickens down to a point when they've been broody for a long time that I'll just open up the nesting box and go, you have to go out. And they'll get up and they'll walk out. And then they'll try to come back in and I'll go, you can't come in. And Gertie, when she was broody, like she was just lifelong broody, there would be, this one, like it's the leg of their stairs, and it would be there, and she'd walk beside it, and she would I'm thinking, I go, I can see you, I can see, and she'd be like, no, you can't see me behind this stick,
like a kid behind their bangs.
Yeah,
I'm not eating right now, you can't see me.
So I'm not sure if other people who do have chickens, if you've dealt with a bullying hen. That is another difficult thing, and I'm dealing with Betty, and once the weather's warmer, she's going to be quarantined to the hospital so that I can disrupt the pecking order. So if I disrupt the pecking order, then someone else will come back in. She's pulled out, and you let them reestablish themselves, and that is one way.
Maybe you could give her out. Can they have some maypop leaves, like passion vine leaves, to chill a little? Is that okay for chickens? Give them maybe some of those other special leaves that are, legal in Canada.
Right,
I don't know.
Some
Maybe
sedatives.
Well, chill her out.
I do find with Betty that she's very feral. I picked her up, because there's lots they don't like to be picked up, and they'll just go and they'll just fly off. But with her the other day, I picked her up and she screamed, bloody murder. Hi, Serena. And it was she was like, she's killing me. She's killing me. She was just yelling, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's happening to you? And you can tell the chickens who when you're picking them up, and they all want to get out of your arms, but there's some that my babies, they all go, yeah, I'm okay here. I'm okay for a minute, but I want to go now. But this was she, you would think I was holding her by her
just
little
got
neck.
Some wild genetics in that one.
So the other issue that we do have to face sometimes is weeds taking over. And I think, Carol, you've been kind of fighting that right now.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to do it organically. And I know you've had luck with the spray. I didn't. I don't know if there's a difference in weeds here, or just because it's the tropics, they grow back the next day. I have no idea. But I did get a tool for in between the pavers. It worked pretty good. It's like a scraping tool. Yeah, I just, I still have to stay on top of it. But what I did go out and get was a bunch of the pine bark, the mini nuggets, first of all, to make growing out of the boxes recipe for the blueberries. I'm going to make that soil recipe eventually. And then the other thing is just to cover the ground, because we have such an issue with funguses, and they spore from the ground and blow around.
Right.
And I got paper out too that I think I actually learned on Shawnee's channel about, that you can put that down instead of doing, the stuff that they sell us for covering the ground, that everybody's like, oh, we don't know if that's so good anymore. My head plastic.
Garden cloth. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm using just paper, like a butcher paper, and I'll be doing that and covering the ground to help with the weed problem, because they never stop here in the tropics. It's, I mean, it is everywhere, and you guys have things like bindweed and horrible, what's the other one? morning glories. I've heard of the bad stories about morning glories. My mom and I never knew because down here we don't have an issue with morning glories.
Right.
We just think they're a pretty flower. We didn't know that they become a very big problem north for people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So some of the solutions for that, of course, is no dig gardening techniques, which I use a lot. And like you said, Carol, you've been using the butcher paper, or even if you just would have gotten some cardboard boxes, to have that thickness before putting it down, it'll break down and it will slow them. So using mulch and cover crops. I've never been a cover crop girl.
I do have mustard cover crop to deal with some of the nematodes. I bought that and I'm going to go back and get some more and have it on hand.
Yeah.
Because you're getting more seeds for less usually in a situation like that.
Right. Yeah. Or like you said, the landscape fabric, which, it lets water through, but it won't let nutrients through. And then, the vinegar-based and organic weed control, but just make sure when you are looking at that vinegar base that you want to have, you want to have it 10% or higher. So,
I did hear last night, which that was in Growing Out of the Box too, not to give him 2 free plugs like Brooke says, but he was saying to watch out for recycled cardboard that supposedly they're putting it back together with all things, but guess what? Formaldehyde. Oh, we're recycling, but guess what we're making this soup with? Oh, formaldehyde. We're so conscious of the earth. Look at us. I was like, good. What? Yeah. Awful. Well, but the only thing is how do you know? Like that, is it stamped? Like you have to look at the company where you're getting the box from.
Absolutely. In all honesty, there's been lots of reports showing they don't do anything.
Oh, is it me or did we just lose her? Lost you.
Eva, no sound.
Yeah, Cece was there. Yep.
There we go. I just had to wait.
There we go.
I just had to wait for it to tell me. It tells you guys before it tells me. I still hear myself. But yeah, they followed trucks from here going over to Maine, Vancouver, and it just gets incinerated. It through. They're not doing anything. Some places might be recycling properly, but for the most part, there's nothing happening with it, which is sad. And of course, dealing with predators and protecting your livestock, which I'm on a small scale. So, you want best deterrents for raccoons, hawks, foxes. I wouldn't know what those are. Pew-pews. We do have a pretty good reinforced coop, and our run is not reinforced though, so anything can come in. So far we have never seen a mink in this area.
Good.
I would like a guardian donkey. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would like that too. But I don't know what I would use it for other than well, raccoons, we do have them occasionally. It would be mostly poor possums would be, iguanas. Maybe they would like kick them out of my yard. I don't know. That would be fantastic, actually.
They're
see that happening.
Yeah, they're super noisy though, like super noisy.
Yeah, that part.
But I just, if you can get one that'll talk back to you, I've seen a couple of them where they get quite the personality, and I wouldn't mind like a guardian geese too.
Oh, Duncan has one. She said she loves hers. And hi, Duncan. I don't know if
Hello, Duncan.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'm almost through my list.
They can be very loud. I would just be like, oh, it's a new fancy dog. I just have to put something on its hooves.
I don't know. You think, oh, you're my friend. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. And of course, another difficult thing that we are facing with, and it's like we haven't even started, an overwhelm and burnout. Homesteading fatigue is real.
And YouTube.
Well, actually,
not with you all though.
No, but it's like when you're going, okay, I'm gonna go and plant. I went and planted some more peppers, and it's like I'm not filming that. I don't need to film that, but it's like I'm just it's the fact that you have to think about,
Yes.
I need to garden. I need to go out there. I'm just in my pajamas. I just want to go plant. But you know what, Maureen? You need to go and bring the camera. So you'll have to get dressed. You can't go and plant in your pajamas. You know, you got to go put a little bit of lipstick on. You should brush your hair, your teeth. It's that kind of stuff. So
I think I'm
learning that
start
time
filming
management.
my hands. I think I'm just going to have to, because I do the same thing. I get too self-conscious when I'm out there in my pajamas. Just got to film my hands and they can see my pajama pants. And there you go.
You have cute pajamas.
Thanks. I love pajamas.
I wear a nightie, and so it's just nightie and boots. That looks weird. You know, a little granny nightie and some boots.
That looks very farm mom.
Yes.
My grandmas were in their little nighties and their boots when they were on the farm.
Yeah. So, you know, time management tips on these seedlings indoors. I know.
I bet.
I've done 2 trays and it's like, oh my gosh, you'd have to get back out there and plant some more. Plant some more. And
a great idea. Great idea.
Pajama gardeners.
Yes.
That's right. And you know, I love the fact that building a local homestead support network, and that's kind of even this aspect of YouTube, which is a super great bonus, because here we all are. There are 17 of us in watching this, and we're all from all time zones and different grow zones and different parts of the world. And here we are, yet we're connecting and having this opportunity to support one another, to give advice, to laugh, to cry, to commiserate. And that's the beauty of it. So this is part of my local homestead network, where when there is something that I need some help with, I know I've got, you know, a whole bunch of people that I can quickly, you know, hey, what do you do about this? Why can't I plant a good carrot yet?
Right.
So that's another important. And then the food storage struggles, preserving the harvest. If you can harvest it, because I find that once you get to the end, it's like, you know what, I've grown it all. I'm really tired. I'm not going out there picking that stuff.
I remember you getting to that point. You're like, I think I got enough squash for this year, and I'm done.
My mom never liked picking the harvest. She never did. If it grows and if you get to harvest it, then yes. So, you know, knowing what are the best way to store your root vegetables, fermenting and freezing, dehydrating, and avoiding the common canning mistakes, making sure that you're, you know, using some good, clean practices of those things. I think unexpected challenges. I'm not sure what I was talking about that. I don't have anything to say about that. I don't.
Maybe that was for the audience. Like, have you faced any unexpected challenges?
Maybe that's what it was.
To turn it to
Oh,
them.
yes, it was. Yes. So,
okay.
So unexpected challenges. And if you've had any, I'd love for you to be writing those in the comments and to share your solutions. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
There we go.
You want to get it again? There you go. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, Miss Sharon, it does, doesn't it? Since we brought it up, yeah. We'll do a challenge between the our three channels.
Specific pajamas that they feel confident and comfortable in being on camera in, and we all do a gardening task in our pajamas.
Yes.
Hashtag pajama gardeners, because I think there's a lot of us hiding out there.
Yeah.
And we just want a pajama garden.
Yeah, I'm a pajama mom. I will sleep in my outfit that I'm going to wear in the morning, and often it is pajamas that look like clothes. Yes. Now you know my secret.
With boots.
Don't tell anybody.
With boots.
Yes, with boots. Yeah, wear your gardening boots.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I like that idea. Or your clogs, whatever.
My first time to ever like I'd been to some funerals, but I'd never ever touched the guest of honor. And so I touched the guest of honor and went, oh my gosh, they're so cold. And from that moment on, I've told my kids, like they were pretty young, and I said, when you bury me, please put me in my pajamas, because that's what I wear mostly in life. So put me in pajamas and then have a comforter. Don't put me in some old lady dress. Put me in some pajama, nightie, like, you know, because it's like, who wants to? Yeah. Because they don't want to put a
pretty nightie.
Pair of pants on the guest of honor at a funeral. So Yeah, so I'm the same as you. It's like I mostly just want to wear my pajamas. That's what I said to Shawnee today. I gotta get dressed, and she's like, "Well, you could just stay in pajamas." I said, "No, I'm baking bread." And I said, "No, because then the customers come and I can't be in my pajamas. I have to get dressed." So I did.
Well, then I said, then you can put your PJs back on.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. I just played chicken mom all day. So, girl dad cooking up deliciousness.
I was on the YouTube side. I couldn't click on him. I'm like, it's not working. Why am I not? Oh, duh. Because I'm not on this side. There it is.
Yeah, I was trying to see where we were. So I
We
think that
are
would be a
down.
really fun thing for us to do a gardening challenge. Do something in your favorite
pajamas.
Favorite attire. What's your most favorite attire? Because some people, they just want to wear. They will do sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, that's what they might. Yeah, be their cozy clothes. Your cozy clothes or your pajamas. But the pajama one really sounds good. I think that's a great one.
So who's gonna lead that?
We all three could. We all three could do a video of us in our pajamas.
I can't grow anything right now, so
you could do seed starting in your pajamas.
It's not. I want to be outside.
I want to show you what I want to show you my real side on
the real
YouTube.
effect.
That's right, exactly.
Right.
Not where I'm wearing a toque to hide that I didn't want to brush my hair today.
Right. But yeah, if I don't have to edit it, I could probably do one. Because that's usually what I'm into. That's why you don't get videos from me, because I'm out in my garden in my pajamas most of the time, grabbing minutes when I can. Yeah. And I just can't seem to film those minutes. I thought I filmed a lovely ride home for all of you to see, a lovely A1A. It wasn't right to my home, but you know what I mean. We were taking an easy, nice by the beach drive.
Yeah.
And I had my phone in my hand, which I thought I had turned on. And it's only like 20, we're going like 20 miles an hour. So I'm holding the phone up because I don't have one of those fancy things in my car. Like the thing I have isn't high enough. Anyway, I'm holding it up and we stopped somewhere, and it is not until I get home that I realize I just took a picture of the Jeep. Still shut. Thank God I stopped it. Thank God, because then I did take some shots, and hopefully I'll put those out as a short. But yeah, missed the whole ride. So I do stuff like that in my garden too, where I think I'm recording, and I'm taking a picture of something.
Yeah, I would like to do there is sometimes like when I'm editing, it is ridiculous. You go, okay, this was 36 minutes and I'm going to edit it down to about 12. But you go, I want to have it one time where I just want to go, here is from start to finish with no edits of you watching me repeat myself, repeat my, wild home. Thank you so much for coming in. I don't know where we are in the chat, darling.
And Mike's, we're all over the place right now.
Okay.
We're all over the place. I was up here with Shawnee, and then I was making my way down. I missed the fancy 5 thing that they're talking about, the 5 Below holders. I like the 5 Below chargers. We get a bunch of those, CC, the ones that are real long for my son.
So we were talking about difficulties we're having, maybe with weeds taking over, and Miss Sharon had spoke about something called dog fennel being 7 to 8 feet tall.
Yikes.
And I thought that is a massive, it's not supposed to be there, apparently, problem. Cece spoke about weeds stressing her out, and we were making jokes on, too bad they don't eat each other, like a predator and pest situation with insects. We don't have a weed that can eat another weed, unfortunately.
Right. Well, they can sometimes crowd out. Like if you do have a good ground cover, sometimes it can crowd out the growth of some of your weeds, but not completely. Yeah, not completely.
Okay, I'm picking this one. All around the world, here together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just so I'm.
Oh yeah, well that was way back there.
Yeah, well that's how far back I know. It's like
you got okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I let her know. Nope, no
Yep.
live last night, guys, so nobody missed anything. I think we
If
were
it
all
grows,
feeling that way.
and if you okay, so this is where I was talking about canning. Okay, so now I'm starting to. I just start giving it away, and I don't feel like preserving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had brought that up.
Yeah, yeah, and I sell. Like I do some selling, but when people come, I love like any party that I've done. I always love everybody to get a take home gift. You get a takeaway prize, and it could be something super lame, or it could be, it's like everybody gets a take home prize, and you get a prize, and you get a prize, and you get stuff, and here's a bar of soap. I'll have little mini soap for everybody to take home. You get a bar of soap, yay!
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I like this. Yeah, I got a kick out of Danny telling us to go plant some seeds. I have 14 inches of snow here and 24 degrees. I ain't planting crap for a while. Amen.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And I do remember
yeah.
seeing.
Well, Danny's, he's in the South, so the warm South.
Oh
We
yeah, and
forget.
this Passamaquoddy got 6 pounds of carrots given to her, so she's going to be canning those tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So
You'll
that's
have a
where
good stash.
Girl Dad Cooking Up Deliciousness came in. I'm just trying to catch myself here.
That's fine. Go ahead. I just thought I failed you, so I was like, I
No,
think
not at all. Yes, I want it to be warm enough to be outside. And that's the thing is with Cleo, she's complaining because she wants to go out. And I go, it's raining. I'm not taking you out there because you're going to get soaked and wet. Hi, Mike's Cat Gardening. Welcome in. I'm not sure if I did get to say already hello to you, but I did see when you popped in. And Shawnee's enjoying the winter break. Yeah. Whatever. And she likes snow.
I do. I'm going to go play in it tomorrow.
Because it's going to go away.
Yeah, it will.
And
then especially you just don't know when with the weather the way it's been. It's like it's here, it's not, it's here, it's not. It's not here up here in the north, but it's here down in northern Florida. Yeah.
My wild home, yes. We did try out some other ones. We've stayed on StreamYard, but we're just using the free version because it's still pretty good. Like it allows, it's still Carol and I, for some reason, whether it's just because we're connected, or we were connected beforehand, where we can actually moderate the chat. I don't know if they let you do that for people who just signed up, but yeah, we're not, the paid version that especially for us Canadians is way too expensive. I'm not sure if you have continued to stay with it or did you find something else?
I think they paid for the year. It's what my wild home said last time they were in here. I think they were waiting for the annual to be up because they had paid
for the whole year. Oh, okay.
Right. Don't ask me how I remembered that. I can't even remember stuff of yesterday, but if that's correct, it's one of those misnomers in my brain.
So I'm just going to say, be careful where you get your wood chips from. I have never had purple dead nettle chickweed or cleavers until I got the chips. Now I have the dog fennel too, though. Oh, okay. But your dead nettle, chickweed, and cleavers are all really, really good things for your garden.
Yeah, at least they're good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Laura has that problem with big weeds, but everybody would like hers over at Hedgehog's Homestead. She had huge mullein. Unfortunately, she's allergic to it, though. So she can't go and pick it and do stuff with it. But she's got huge mullein weeds.
Yeah.
Which is great respiratory help.
Shawnee, I'm not sure if you addressed this like in a written, but if you want to do you want to just kind of give a quick brief about what we found with the different types of
I feel like there isn't really anything as good as StreamYard. I feel the same way too, my wild home. Just wondered how your investigations turned out, but good to know. We tried EVMUX. The problem we had was the watermark being in people's faces and moving with its graphics. You can't get rid of that with the free version. And the panel members get to see a chat, and the chat was what we're going to call backwards for how it would bring in a new message, and it was upsetting. It was just not
it was
clear
small
visual for the panel members as well. And behind the scenes, what we can see on our screen, it was kind of a smaller version for that one. The second one we tried was Restream, And there was glitches with both of them as far as bringing a guest on, and they didn't have access to audio, and that's frustrating. Come in, go out. What's wrong? I have all my stuff on. Why is this not letting me with certain devices have audio? StreamYard definitely feels more at home and friendly. We do miss our features that we had with the paid version, but we refuse to pay those fees monthly. And we are only looking at web-based streaming services. And so the only other one that kind of fit was something called Talk Studio, and there's a learning curve with that. It's very OBS based, which is desktop, download a program. That's not the kind of streaming service we wanted, so we stayed far away from Talk Studio, Streamlabs Talk Studio, and we kind of got discouraged after all of that and just said, you know what, we're all staying under 20 hours a month with StreamYard, so here we are today.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't feel it, but I think some of my dishes might have shook. But two of my kids in Vancouver, in different parts of it, they were both in the loo and they both felt it. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure. Did you end up feeling it? And I'm not sure where you went to after.
I went to Passamaquoddy because we're talking about the weeds. She was saying goats are great if you can have them. Yeah, I'm not allowed to either in city limits. I would love those little mini goats though. I would love all the mini things. I just want a whole mini farm. Just all the minis.
Little mini cow.
Yes, just the mini cows. Yes.
Mini
yes,
goats.
The ones that have the Highland ones, the Highland minis that, they're just so cute.
Bows in their hairs.
Exactly. How did you know?
Mm-hmm.
And even those little mini chickens. What was it? The Taramas is what we were calling the small ones last time. What was it you guys told me? They were the cute little roosters that David Good has. Anyway, those little minis, I love those too. There's another one too. It's like a K. Kiki. It's a weird name. And they're really small hens too. But then you get small eggs.
Yeah. Like the quails and that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what dog fennel looks like.
Why don't I pull that up for you?
I would love that.
Thank you, Shawnee.
Yeah. So it's hard to get the perspective here. It's in the basement.
Yeah.
As far as how tall it is, if you want to share it.
I do.
So that's like the leaf structure that I'm seeing. It's considered a weed by most. Dog fennel is a graceful perennial. It looks very delicate.
Yeah.
And I asked her, like, what eats it? There's got to be something that'll eat that.
Goats will probably eat it.
Can you make it the full picture? Wow.
I'm thinking it looks like an annual or a perennial they sell down here, but it's definitely not. But we have something that people put in their beds down here that has that kind of look.
I wonder if it smells like fennel.
Yeah, is it usable at all?
I think my friend grows it.
Really?
Because she's got some that it smell. Yeah, it's in the it's more like in the 15-20 feet realm.
I'm gonna give you another visual here of at the root level if you want to share that on the screen.
Thank you.
So here's
like
that's how it would look.
They look like baby pine trees. Like when you first start off a little pine tree, they kind of have that look to them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if people it's just a little baby pine tree. We'll get to that in time. And then all of a sudden they blow up on there. Like, it's not a baby pine tree.
It's one of the most common occurring pasture weeds in Florida.
Oh, wow. I've never seen it. I mean, maybe I have.
Extension University of Florida. So I don't know what part.
It might be central and north, but then again, I don't have massive land. So if something like that comes up in my yard, it gets pulled out because it doesn't belong. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Making it home, that she was saying.
Welcome.
Yes, it's good to see you making it home.
Good to see you making
welcome.
it home.
Welcome.
Cattle don't eat it.
The cattle don't eat it, eh? Wow.
Can you mulch it?
Okay, no, it's not what my friend has. What she has looks like
oh, that's a sign. Possibly there, huh, Mike? You guys are getting more birds?
Mike, it's fake spring. Don't believe it.
Yeah. Right?
Look away.
We just had the temps drop in the 50s after I said, oh, my jackfruit's putting on fruit. And one of my most sensitive tropical trees is my jackfruit. Yes. For last, I had 4 volunteers. Oh, cool, Serena.
That's very
pretty
cool. So you didn't feel anything either. So, but your relatives in the Lower Mainland, they did. Yeah. Right. Oh, saw a whole flock of robins flew days before. We got some snow last storm, and I saw one today. I think they were just ducks. But they kind of looked like geese. That's always my happy. As soon as I start seeing them fly over, and it's like they're heading down south. Yay! Or no, they're coming up north. Right. Yeah. They come up this way, and then in the fall they head back down. And then that's sad.
Yes, we have Canadian plastic geese in a lot of our waterways down here, so they won't land in certain areas, especially the smaller canals like we have behind the house.
You're searching for the mini jerseys right now. I know it's.
Are you? Oh, they're cute too. So cute.
Oh, the mini things. Oh, a Dexter cow. Do one of you want to grab a Dexter cow, or I'll grab the Dexter cow?
Are you sure?
Somebody. Or you're going to look up Dexter cow, or are you going to look up for the mini jersey?
Dexter. I can do the Dexter mini.
Okay, I'll do the mini.
Do the jersey. It's adorable. Oh, these look like the big size ones. Wait a minute. Nope, because they are, Carol. Even though you put mini cow, they brought up a regular. Hold on.
Okay, so the mini jerseys are not that mini.
No, they make sure they brought up the mini because mine didn't. Mine brought.
Are you doing jerseys or
I'm doing Dexter's, but when I put in Dexter mini cow, it didn't bring it up. I had to change it to mini Dexter cow, and now I have a picture.
Yeah,
so it might be the search engine.
I would love, I would love them. So here's the mini jerseys, but I think that so even this one here, it's not that it's that small, but if we looked at this one, he's
this looks like a calf.
Oops, that's the full layout there. Pretty. I'm not making them big. So these ones just are not, they're not super tiny. They're not the little. So stop sharing. Next one. Oh yes, that's a Dexter. Dexter.
Isn't cute? So cute.
They are.
Oh. Okay, those are not Dexters, but those are really cute sheep too. I've seen them with the little black faces. Oh, it's because it took me right into Pinterest. That's why. But oh my gosh, look at this special little face.
So cute.
I love the little black mask on it. Oh. Okay, I'll stop.
But it's a lot of work. That's the problem. Is like their cuteness is like, oh my gosh.
It's a dog. It's just a dog. That's what I would tell
you got to get out. You got to milk it twice a day. You say goodbye to your life right there.
Yeah, that's once they get pregnant. They're just a little heifer until then.
That's true.
You got to find a little bull for them too. Like that would be, you'd have to have that. I wouldn't want to do that responsibility if you didn't have your own bull. Yeah.
Mike says once he sees the robin at his feeder, he knows that spring is coming. But I don't know. Yeah. What do you say, Shawnee?
I would agree. I was trying to think of what else I see in Minnesota that means spring is here. Definitely specific types of birds.
Yeah. Well, the hummingbirds were being tracked. That was last week.
I would see a robin before a hummingbird. Yeah.
Okay. We've got robins here now. So it's the Brahmas or the Bantams.
The Brahmas or the Bantams? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, she said Brahmas are huge. It's the Bantams that are small. So the wrong B. Bantam.
Sorry.
It was the Bantams that I liked. Their roosters are beautiful, but I can't have either. I'm in city limits, and they're mean. They're very mean about that.
Yeah. New Hampshire, you see Robin Spring is around the corner.
I've had a lot of bunnies out and about. I know that because I can see them in the snow.
Yeah.
Your goats won't touch it. What are we talking about? What did I miss?
Oh, we're going the dog fennel. Our goats won't touch it.
Okay.
But Mike's saying his squirrels eat that weirdly.
It's toxic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a toxic thing in dog fennel, but I don't know what Mike was talking about.
Okay. Well, because there's plants that look like it. It's really hard to.
Okay, so now I see where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I know if I do see it to definitely rip it out of my yard. But if it's toxic, I'm wondering, I guess it has a really small little seed or something like that's just floating through the air. Because if it's toxic, who's eating it and dropping it everywhere?
Right. Making it home. What grow zone and what state do you live in? They're just waiting in Washington till the cold stops up north. Yes.
Right.
And we can
blowing.
Go. We can go. Oh yeah, DCBs, that's a calf. Okay, so now I'm seeing them. I'm just going to go to the bottom of the chat and try to catch up that way.
Yeah,
And I'm going to just back up a little bit, then I'll see if I can grab some. I'll just start here after my night bud. Mutton chops, anyone? There we go. I think I'm close enough. Not if you calf share. Yeah, that's true. But isn't calf share where you're just sharing the milk?
Yeah. Or
and what's and what point and what's the point that you want to have a cow, right?
Right.
You want to have a cow so you can have the milk to make cream, or to make butter and ice cream. What else?
Or somebody wants it for meat. But that would be like if you had a bull born and you want to hold on to it for that, or sire it. I don't think they say sire for cows and bulls. Sire, it's a horse.
I want mini Dexter cows to go with my giant Flemish rabbits.
That's cute.
Yeah, DC. I've got robins here. And we're in the same zone here. And I'm saying both lotions, candles, soaps, and cheese from the goats, and milk cheeses from the cow.
Yes.
I have a hummingbird. I have hummingbirds that live here year round, actually.
Lucky you.
Which is kind of cool.
What did I? Oh, because I thought of you not owning a bull, you have to inseminate the heifer yourself to have milk. Yeah. That's why I was like, nope.
You want 2 cows, DC. Wow. Yeah. So loofah takes like 200 days and it needs to have hot heat. 60, 90. So that's 6 months for a loofah for you? I guess I should go get some seed planted. What do you call a cow that has just had a baby? Decaffeinated. You're in Arkansas. You're in Arkansas. That's what I like to call it.
Oh yeah, Arkansas is what we call it here.
Arkansas. You're in central Arkansas.
So making it home, then how have the tornadoes been there for you? Because I know that was a big thing for Jess and her family from Roots and Refuge before they moved.
Right. Zone 4 for Mike's.
That's so crazy.
Zone 5A for Shawnee.
Crazy.
Zone 8B for Miss Sharon.
Okay. That's more like it.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and
That's a sweet. Yeah.
I'm zone 9B.
I'm
or
10B,
more.
11A. Yeah. 10B, 11A or Hades A and B is what we call it down here.
Pretty close. Pretty
Yeah,
close.
during the summer for sure.
Oh, you're only zone 4 Alaska. Hey, that's pretty not bad.
Yeah, you could be a 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So so that is one of my questions for you all, is that what is something that you have struggled in the past that you'd like to try to find some success with it, or like even if you just want to lament about something, or because if we've got a lot of knowledge in this space right now, and that somebody might have an answer for you. And I didn't email out the link because I wanted just to go through some of those ideas, just to go quickly. Corn. You're struggling with growing corn.
Oh,
I tried to grow popcorn. It didn't go well at all.
I just wonder if, because it is corn, if you're up against squirrels, mice, and birds, they all love it. If it was there anymore.
Something eating it, DCBs?
Yeah. Because it'll eat it here. Like, that's why sunflowers are not much of a go for me, because something eats it. Almost every time I try it, it's gone. Either the seed or even the sprouts. I'm going to try the milk jug thing or the water jug, like the cloche, and try it that way. But last time I did, and still as soon as I lifted it off, boom, gone.
To get it into the ground. Okay, so DC, do you plant from seed into the ground, or are you putting it in, starting them and then taking them out? And so a couple of things I know about corn, you're depending, like if you got an area, you can only plant one type. If you're planting a second type, it must be far away from type A, because they will not work. Also, you could buy starts from the store so that they have that little bit of oomph to start, but it's best to put it in the ground. And DC, being that you live in the same climate as I do, it's hard. It's been hard the last 3 years to do corn because the ground is not warm enough. So that's those are some of the things. So he said all of the above. Late start, birds, mice, cold ground, short season. Yeah. So, if you want to have some fresh corn, a little tray of, seedlings from one of your stores is going to be pretty economical, and at least it's got that head start and that. Yeah. So
it's also a monocot, and it's used to remove pesticides, so it's probably a heavy feeder, and if your soil is in lack, you're going to have trouble with it. I know down here my dad tried, and it was like, I think that is actually what made him give up, because he grew up growing corn and tried to grow it in Florida, and he was like, no, I'll go through too much.
You can also shop for a variety that has a shorter maturity date for planting your corn. You can then extremely wait and prolong planting until that soil is warm, whether that's June, July, and maybe you have a 50 or 70 day. I'm guessing you're growing sweet corn, and try that. Try a different variety.
So Miss Sharon, about the carrots, my first year carrots, I planted them, but with the watering, they moved all over the place.
Right.
So are you struggling with getting them to germinate? Because there is lots of cool techniques. If you look at Garden Like a Viking, he's got a really great technique for starting your carrot seeds, where he he does his onions, but he also, he's doing onions. But what I have heard about carrots is that you want to be able to put up to your elbow, you want to be able to push down into the soil easy enough with your arm up to your elbow. That's how soft and fluffy your soil should be when you're doing carrots.
I've heard of people just using a separate container and using really loamy compost and growing their carrots in that. And then Laura over in Hedgehog's Homestead for the seeds to take, she waters them, but then puts a board over top of them so they don't move.
Yeah.
And then continues to, keep track of keeping them moist. Go ahead, Shawnee. I'm sorry. You're going to say.
Those are both absolutely correct. You get a separate container. Like you said, get a bagged mix. Don't even use the soil that's in your ground.
Right.
Put worm castings in it for food. And have wet seeds, whether it's the frosting method with the cornstarch liquid or the board method, which I've used, and look at your variety. Don't grow a 12-inch carrot. Grow something that's a 6-inch Danver or Narvik and Scarlet Nantes and have that success feeling. And then once you have that container figured out that, yes, they like it here, then get your 12 inchers next year and try and challenge yourself.
Oh, she says, it was probably the crappy soil she bought. I've had that happen with a bag of soil too. Especially with our heavy rains, Miss Sharon, it gets really compacted. The soil here that like you might put in an elevated bed, it compacts it down. So you have to go out and kind of move it with something to get it to even take water again. It'll compact it down that hard. We're back up above her though.
15-foot corn. That's fabulous.
But then he said it went down to 7 foot in 1 year. That's crazy though. Like that much of I don't blame you. He's probably thinking he'll get 3.5 foot this year. It went down by more than half. Why do you think that is, Mike, that it went down in height by that much in a year? Oh, well, it's already taken. Okay.
Garlic
That's good
better
though.
anyways.
Yeah. Definitely better for us. Yeah, it's better for us than corn.
That's very good, Duncan. I saw the Amish grow my corn, then I buy it from them. Fluffy soil is a must. Fluffy for your carrots. They want fluffy soil.
I don't know, DC. Did you see that question? I'm not sure, DC. I don't have a high tunnel. None of us have a tunnel that I'm aware of, because he was wondering if it's too late for the greenhouse starts. That would be something. Ask your extension service. Call them up.
Okay, so there's 2 questions there, DC. Is it too late for me to get plastic for my tunnel? Absolutely not. To make it a makeshift greenhouse? Absolutely not. To use it for starts? Possibly too late. I don't know where you're at. I don't know your...
He's in Washington. Yeah.
You're going to have to look
I just combined all 3. I was like, why don't you call your extension service before you invest in the plastic and everything? Is what my thought process was.
You can use it at the end of this.
Yeah, if you get it on sale.
What about the third question about, is it too late to use it for starts?
Well, that's what I was saying. Extension service would know.
Your planting calendar on Seed Time can help you on when you should have things started and planted.
Oh yes,
you can get your Seed Time calendar through my affiliate link.
Yes.
Totally
missed that cue. Whoop. See.
No,
but yeah, it is a great program.
I don't think I understand the question about, is it too late to start in the tunnel to start your starts? Because it's still early. Like I'm just starting my stuff like indoors. I wouldn't start my starts outside right now. It would be too flipping cold for them unless I have a heated high tunnel.
Yeah. True.
So that would be my thing.
Yeah. With Washington though, just call your extension service, because we don't live in your zone. So we can look it up for you if you want. Shawnee's like, her hands move at a pace that is just being studied scientifically because it's so like fast, I think. It's Washington State, right? That's DC.
Yeah. So I've never heard old style carrot lines. I've never. Miss Sharon has raised beds for everything.
Nice.
So corn only does well if you grow it from seed outside without transplanting. as it needs the other stalks as part of the growing process. Yes, and you're supposed to plant them in groups of like 4, because they need to be able to touch one another with their tassels and stuff like that for pollination. So I had 0 bugs in 23 and 1 billion in 24.
They found you.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
We had no sun and daily rain. Yeah, that makes sense.
Correct. We had a very heavy, wet spring, record-breaking water amounts, and it caused a lot of problems with growers in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says in Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
I was going to say, it says in Washington State, D.C., you can start seeds in a high tunnel in late January. So no, you're not too late. When there are more than 10 hours of daylight per day and the soil temperature is above 55 degrees, if you're going to do it in a high tunnel. So again, just double check according to your zip code, but you're not too late to do starts. But to get out and do all that to set up for starts, you know your body best. Because I know we've talked before about, you having your accent and everything too. So you have to always factor that in. What was kind of Marine?
Yeah, we have very similar weather, DCBs and
all. Oh, okay. You guys are in the same zone. Okay. I thought he was
like he's just zone. Gardening Warriors just across the way. DCBs is just across the way. I'm waving to you right now.
I thought his zone was not like 9 though. I thought he was in like
he's similar to me.
Yeah.
What is this? I do the same thing with potatoes. I only grow a few for fresh green beans and potatoes. Oh, there's Maureen's affiliate link if you want to grab on.
There you go.
And the seed time is free for the basic one that just gives you the calendar.
DC, what is your zone though that you're in?
Specifically.
Yeah, specifically rather than saying
question, can daikon radishes help to break down clay dirt? That's for you, Shawnee.
Correct.
Oh, sorry.
Daikon radish and turnips have that deep, fat root that digs into the soil for us, so we don't have to broad fork it. You can manually broad fork it ahead of time if you don't want to wait a whole season for that to happen. You could grow it like a cover crop where you just leave it in. You let it decompose in place. You don't harvest it to eat it. That's planting ahead of a season, though. You can also companion plant with them.
I have a question in regards to the radishes. I think in the 5 years I've grown, maybe 15 radishes that actually bulbed. I will go and I'll put my little seeds down, and then they'll start to grow and they'll have beautiful greens, and the greens will get about this high. You go to pull it out and it's just a little skinny thing.
It's bone meal. You need bone meal.
And it's not because you're trying to pull it too early, right? You've waited long enough and there's no bulb. Correct. Bone meal is a quick solution for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I should write that down.
Yeah, you should. Maybe do that. But also, where's the time? Are you hitting the end of your season, like Shawnee said, and then maybe it's not having enough time to bulb up?
No.
Because,
No.
Because I've had greens and then it didn't bulb up so well. It was, boom, all of a sudden it was giving me little flowers.
Oh, DCBs, you wish you were a little warmer, okay? You're way more rainier than I am. You get way more rain. So shush.
Okay, you're 8. Oh, that's a great zone. Okay, so you're a little less than actually Marine. Marine is warmer than you, dear.
Quick question, Marine. Are you seeing your radish bolt and flower?
After a real long time.
Okay. So otherwise, heat did it, but no,
Yeah.
You've said there's a gap. Okay.
Yeah, there was the only time that it worked was I put the seeds down and they might have started coming up and the ladies were starting to come and get at them. So I put a coffee stack down.
Yeah.
Right. And then you just get busy with life. You get busy with life. And then all of a sudden, oh shoot, I lifted up and and there was lots of good healthy greens. And then, and those ones actually bulbed up that year. But since that time, like I could not grow a daikon radish if my life depended on it. So apparently I am lacking bone meal.
Yeah, you have too much nitrogen.
Yeah.
I need more nitrogen?
You have too much.
You have too much.
Too much nitrogen.
Because it's
you
just
need bone meal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go get some bone meal.
That's for any bulbing vegetable. You check your soil if you're having trouble with bulbing, and sometimes it's just a lack of what bone meal provides, which of course my brain is not.
The bear broke her potato plant. Boo.
Oh, naughty bear.
What is bean
that's
meal?
A great zone. What?
Maybe
you're gonna try which bean?
Bone meal. Is it really bean or is it bone?
I don't know.
Ground beans to powder. No, he's talking about. Oh, interesting.
Ground beans. Okay.
To powder in place of bone meal. Interesting, Mike. What type of beans? Thank you. It's the phosphorus. I couldn't think of what that was. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Phosphorus for bulbs. Okay, that's a good thing to note.
DC, you can put in your zip code. Say, what zone is this zip code? Like, what growing zone is my zip code in? And usually, or growing zone to zip code, and it'll give you a way to just by your zip code. Because I found those like general areas or it gives you your time of when you can plant. But what you should do is try the seed time because it's free. That first part is free, and you should try, clicking on what Miss Sharon put in there because it gives you the whole calendar. And and also your extension service. They're wonderful because they give you a complete calendar too, and you can call them sometimes and get somebody on the phone who is a master gardener in your area and can talk to you.
Wow, that's so cool. Today on Gardening Like a Viking Gardener, Scott said that rabbits never bother his beds. Primarily, they just eat the weeds in the pathway and elsewhere between the beds. Will it grow? John, welcome in, sir. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. White beans have as much phosphorus as bones and cheap. Get a bag at dollar store, grind it out. Nice.
Do you have to soften them at all, Mike? Or they're fine as is? Like, do you have to soak them? You should probably sort them first, so don't stick a stone in your grinder, because that would be bad.
Can I go back to the zone conversation?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, he said the zip code says 8B. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to clarify if anyone, in the basement, there's a page to add to stage. What it is in America, we have the USDA plant hardiness zone map, and it's all these beautiful colors, and it has all these letters and numbers with them. And what it's talking about is your highest and lowest temps that are going to happen average in a collection of years in the data that we have for weather. That's why we talk about the 4B, 5A, 8B. It talks about how hot and cold it gets, and it kind of doesn't matter for annuals. It matters for perennials. Mostly for the annuals, you're wanting to know your soil temp, when was your last frost date, when's your first frost date. And thank you for looking up your address and zip code to figure that out. You did it.
Yeah, it is a great Canadians, we don't use the grow zones. I think I find that more, especially people that are YouTubers, they do use their grow zones. But one of the main things, like my mom, she didn't know what her zone was, but she just knows I plant after the long weekend in May because that's when she knows that the frost is done. Right. And then you just keep planting until. But when you have a better idea of knowing exactly when your sort of last frost date is, then that's going to allow you to back up to go, when do I plant this? Because it is going to go out after that long weekend in May. For many people up here, especially up in Canada, it's like you're going along with it. Because if I would have moved down here and went, well, I can't plant anything until after the long weekend in May. It's like, no, Maureen, your last frost date is April 18th. You can actually already have your brassicas out, your lettuces out, your choys out, and I plant my potatoes in March. My mom still would have snow in March, but if I had the idea of plant like my mother, but to know what my grow zone is, it's like, oh, like I can start things now. I could actually have things out in the garden. I would need to have, definitely would have to have frost cover. We don't get a lot of frost, but we don't have a deep permafrost into the ground either. So in my raised beds, I could have things growing and getting them up. So
it's good for chill hours to DCBs, and if you ever plan on putting in fruit trees, because I can't put in certain fruit trees because we just do not have the chill hours down here in 10B, 11A. We don't have that many chilly days at all. And our cool time when you guys are taking down your gardens, well, some of you are putting in like some winter sowing and you might be ending your fall gardening. We are gardening. That's our gardening time. It's completely, pretty much completely different, but not always.
Yeah, you just planted when it was time because it was part of what you did. But probably they knew, wherever, like if you were still in Washington State, they would know those time zones that they could plant and whatever. So, Serena, I'm going to just say that that's a bunch of bunk.
Yeah.
All of that is just a bunch of bunk just to make people have fear. And, and also to impact, because there's, I watched one man who said, yeah, one of my chickens caught something. And so it's like, you can remove that one because, the main thing is that if you do have a chicken that as long as it's not super contagious, like one of their other contagious things, you're building up the immune system. But if you take out the whole flock, none of their immune systems are building up. So anyway, I don't subscribe to that thing.
Right. And they even found that the case that they based it on, Serena, the cat that it spread to was an outdoor cat. It went on walks with its owners, and they said it was an indoor cat, but they had notes that said, no, indeed it was going out near wild birds. Wild birds are more the problem, the wild ducks and things like that.
But it's still, I wouldn't put any value to any of it, and to you get people all freaked out and they're in fear, and it's just not the way to be. And they were culling a lot of birds that shouldn't have been culled,
right?
Unfortunately.
But what does it cause us to do? It causes us to run out, buy a lot of eggs, and buy a lot of chicken meat. What do you know? And what does that do? It pushes the economy and does all kinds of things with money. So there's always a little more going on.
Yeah. So,
wow.
I've had people say to me, like, are you really afraid? And it's like, no, I'm not. We live in a pretty isolated area, blah, blah, blah. Yep. There you go. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Connect with a local egg situation because they're probably selling their eggs cheaper than the store right now.
Right.
Yeah. I sell mine for $7, which mine are kind of high. I think I burnt myself today. It was like, why is that kind of hurting or itchy? Or you got burned. You got burned.
Making your bready bread.
Yeah, and I baked it in the regular oven today. I didn't do the.
We won't tell anybody. It's our secret, right, guys?
I baked in a regular oven today, not in the furnace. It was like, I only had 3 orders, and so I made 6 loaves. But 4 go out. I have one. I always make a loaf of bread for my pastor and his family, and so I put on the extra 2 because my sister always like stock up on bread for me. And then, because I'll send like 6 or something like that, or to my sister when she needs it. And I was like, do I really want to fire up the oven when it's drizzly and rainy, because it's got to heat for at least 45 minutes at the high temperature. Then for me to bake the bread it takes only about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the temp. And so basically I would have had all 6 loaves done in 45 minutes, and then the oven is going to be hot for the next 2 to 3 hours. And it was like, I'll bake it in the oven. So I did. It actually tastes different when I bake it in the oven. It's quite different.
Well, it probably doesn't have those smoky flavors from the wood, right? Like a little bit. I know that was. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, it is my personal opinion. So, and I know that there are some people who have been affected and by stuff, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a mess. Basically, Miss Sharon's way of saying it's a mess.
I'm still selling eggs for $2 a dozen. You're like sweet.
We're all coming to your house, Duncan. We'll be lining up.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny what Mike said. It's like, they still have the legs, the breasts, and all the other parts of the chicken, but the wings just disappear. I remember that, Mike. Like, we're really low on wings. But it is a common restaurant food, so maybe they were getting bought up some weird way. I don't know. You know, but maybe again, total vote.
Yeah. Well, I know my mom said when we were growing up, the wings, like, you know, that was the cheap meat, you know, and you know, and she was on a very strict budget, so it was like, get the wings for making soup or whatever, right? And you're in agreement with me. Okay.
Yes, okay. I figured.
I wondered, but then there was part of me that, you know, I thought, well, because some people like, well, that's not what I believe, but okay. Well, I read.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're all kind of over here going to it. So
poop emoji.
Yes. Oh yeah, because there was a little poop emoji about all this poopy stuff.
I read that feeling.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting 2 dozen eggs a day from my girls. Yeah. So no wonder why you're so, you know, it's like, it all within a week.
Basic economics, you got a lot of supply. Yeah.
You got, So then you can pass that on to people, which is great.
Right.
You know, so
good for everybody.
But still, $7 is it's not bad, but it's not the best. But I don't have a job, so
you're in the suburbs. Duncan's out in the country. Different situation. More people out where she is with larger flocks and stuff is different. More competition.
I just don't say it as nice as you. Oh, you mean you think that's nice? Are you sleeping? Are we boring you, Storms there? So
what happened there?
Maybe it's a cat. I don't know. Maybe the cat.
That's true. The cat does do those weird things. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Like he's over it. I think that's what it means. He's over the tail of that. What we were just talking about.
So Passamaquoddy talked about a couple years ago. I planted on Memorial Day and we got a cold spell, pretty much wiped out everything I planted. That's one of those moments where you go, okay, yes, I want to plant really, really bad, and I think I can plant, and so I'm just gonna plant some, not all, because yes. Now my always go-to saying is just wait, otherwise you're gonna be replanting right along as your neighbor, because they also jumped the gun on it, and it's like, wait.
Oh, what was that cool saying you said on your new podcast, Shawnee?
On Learn As You Grow over on Spotify. I have loaded up some podcasts for y'all to listen to me gab on about gardening if you don't get enough of me over on Shawnee Grows on YouTube. And I spoke about one for the mouse, one for the crow, one that dies, and one that grows. So that's it makes it sound like plant 4 seeds and expect 1. And it is saying that, and it's not. It's saying just have your expectations set where things happen, and to have extra and plant extra and save some seeds for a second succession to have some harvest.
Because when I heard that, it was really weird for those of us who have grown up in church. I immediately thought of the sower and the seed, and it is a 1 in 4. Like it has to do more with the soil, and it's a 1 in 4 average. And I was like, so even way back then in agriculture, they knew 1 in 4 average that they might get a crop. I'm like, I'm sensing a theme here in agriculture. Like they're very aware of things that, like, as new gardeners, you might not be, and you might get really discouraged, especially if you're listening tonight. And Shawnee has some great stuff, and so does Maureen for new gardeners. in their catalogs of
I'm gonna need
videos.
a definition of the sentence of rimming, self-rimming. Is it rhyming?
Rhyming.
Is that word rhyming?
Rhyming. I think it's
Yeah.
rhyming. The spell check has sometimes it like if you don't give it the right two letters together, it gives. There you go.
I do
Yeah.
have children,
Rhyme.
and I tend to rhyme things to make it easier for
Yes.
them to remember.
And
It's a
they like
teacher
you
thing.
to sing on a regular
Correct.
basis. So, would you say that
okay.
little rhyming scheme again and just say it
Yeah,
a
I
little
love
bit
it.
slower for the people in the back, please?
Oh, hey, you in the back. 1 for the mouse, 1 for the crow, 1 that dies, and 1 that grows.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down, and I'll never see this notebook again. But I'm writing it down, so I hope I can
Muscle
remember
memory
it.
to the brain matters when taking notes.
1 for the mouse, 1 for the crow, 1 that dies, and 1 that grows. Okay.
But I'm A, not expecting it or relying. B, I can use as chop and drop if it dies. Heck yeah.
Yeah. If it gets up to that height.
See, bees, my husband also has a brain injury and also can't spell, so it's okay.
I asked all the time if I was dropped as a child because I don't have a good memory. And what my mom, it was terrible. I walked out of the room and I hear my mom say to my sister, I never dropped her, but I did drink. Well, I was like, what? I'm like, that's a big deal. It's like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, oh, great. Like, no. I hope you were kidding, but it would make sense.
So I have posted Shawnee's new
Gross
podcast, and it's.
Thank you.
I hope I did it right, but it's.
I don't know.
When you go and listen to her, it's like
link.
she has just got such a great speaking voice, like, and it's like it just sounds so good. It's so good.
You have
Make
the
sure
podcast melody down.
Oh, thank
You
you.
give
I really was
yeah.
like, let's try this out. Make sure you follow the podcast, leave a review. You can comment on there and chit chat. Share it out with a fellow gardener. Let's let that grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's great about it too, I like, is I can put it on in my car and I'm not tempted to look because it's not
That's
video.
right.
There's no video. There's no pressure.
No video.
Just put me
No.
on as you go to sleep.
You can do that too.
Yeah, but then if I try to ask you a question,
Right.
you won't answer me.
I
It's
know.
like, oh, I'll ask Shawnee that. Oh, Shawnee's right here. So you didn't answer my question, Shawnee. Now I'm awake.
See, and I'm glad we talked about whatever that thing was that I've already forgotten, so I could remember that I wanted to ask her about that sweet poem and also, let you guys know about
There
her
it
podcast.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
It'll come to me.
happens.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yes, this is a very true story. Very true story.
Just
Indeed.
research, like reading and showing others things. I don't know a whole lot actually.
But you grew up in a community that did, and you grew up with that
I missed
example
out
in
on
your
a lot.
life.
I missed out on a lot because my great grandparents had already left the farm. And so I have no clue. I didn't learn anything from them other than a couple baking recipes. My grandparents that are in my life, because I don't, the other set of humans don't count. So the grandparents that I do have stopped gardening food. And when you're a kid, like you just don't. And now she can't remember. She won't be able to tell me any kind of gardening knowledge or stories. And her kids were forced to help garden and they hate it.
Right. I've heard that before.
They got like burnt out on it and they don't remember anything. Like they can't tell me. It's really like I finally grew ground cherries, and it was something my dad was trying to explain to me. It was something he was in charge of planting every year, and I grew them, and he tasted them, and he's like, this brings me back. And I felt so good that I could do that, that I figured it out, what he was trying to talk about. It was ground cherries.
Yeah.
It's very sad that somehow that generation, I might not be able to articulate it right, but it's like, so if we go back a couple generations, like you worked in the farm because you worked so that you could eat. And yet your kids all had to be part of it. And then came a generation where they went, I'm being forced to do this. And it's like, no, this is for survival. This isn't about being forced. And then they turn their back on it, and it's like, that's so sad, because it's like you're getting the OG of life, of how to actually function, where we're all like, whoa, I don't know why.
Because it was hard work. They were kids, and it was hard work to farm back then. Like they didn't have all the conveniences we do. And it was hard. And then along came consumerism, and it was like, oh, your life can be so much easier now. Here's even frozen packaged meals too. Look at this. Look at that. Like, it totally pulled them off the farms for an easier life, because it was hard. My mom even had nightmares about feeding the pigs. Like, they gave her the hogs as a 5-year-old girl, that if she fell in, she would be dead. They would eat her. They were huge. They were the old-fashioned hogs that were ginormous. So
having that pressure of something relying on you every day to eat wrecks people sometimes.
Yeah. And even my dad went off to World War II not to be the last brother on the farm working the whole thing with his dad, because his dad was aggravated because he didn't have enough help. So he was taking it out on my dad. And my dad was like, well, I'll just go see the world. I'll choose war over this, because he was a teenager. It's like, he looked back when he was older.
Enlivened.
Yeah. Teen guy. He's like, I'm going to go to Europe and see everything, see the world,
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. But then, as he turns into his 60s and 70s, and he realized what he did to his dad, it was different. Like, he was like, I still feel regret that I did that to my dad. But they were worked really hard as children. A lot of them had some time to be kids, but a lot of it was chores, and then more chores and school. And you get a little playtime on Sunday.
Thank you all for sparking our generations into growing and taking responsibility for our food. You all are important. I see you here in the chat. I see you in the replay.
Yeah.
To you.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's one thing.
Hi, Robin. Oh my, are you okay? They're fierce.
See, I said after doing a little pig seminar, I knew halfway through, I'm not getting pigs. Mama's not getting them.
Yeah, you went through it, DC, with working. And plus, we didn't get to ask you if the farm was in a different area. Is it the same land that you're on now too?
Me?
No, DC, because he was saying about working the farm, because we moved all over DC, so the gardening even for my dad was different, to where, once we got here, he had fruit trees. He's like, that's easy. I don't have to bend down. I can just pick fruit, just feed them a little. I'm done doing, vegetable gardening.
Yeah, I will say, one thing that I'm super grateful about 2020 is that it opened me up to be learning how to do this kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage GT Junior, grows in Alaska. What's up?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Did you come to tell us about the cake?
Yeah.
We're gonna lament. We're gonna lament with you. Okay, we're here with you.
So I only know how to make box cake. I've never made a real cake before. So
okay.
My favorite is strawberry. So I made a cake about 2 weeks ago, and my family loved it. We demolished it over a course of a week. So I got the cake that had pink inside. What is it? I don't know what it is, but the cake inside. So I was watching videos on something else, and then something popped up on there. Carnation milk. So I used carnation milk in the cake.
Which one though? Did you use the condensed milk or
the sweetened condensed milk? The sweetened condensed milk. I used a can of that. I used, instead of it said, I think, half of a cup of oil. I use 1/4 of a cup of oil. It said 1 cup of water. I used a half a cup of water, and
Okay.
my son came upstairs. He said, "Daddy, what's wrong with it?" I'm
Oh
talking about this.
no.
I'm talking about on the outside, it's all it's nice, and then it's got a whole valley just go.
It
But
fell.
it is tasty. Oh my goodness!
Oh,
I
I
didn't put no
bet.
frosting on it. I didn't put any frosting on it. I don't know how to make it better as far as the next time, but when I tasted condensed milk, it brought back so many memories because that's
Mm.
what we used to have way back in the days. So
So usually when a cake will fall, it's because of early pressure change or it hasn't had enough time to bake. You might have needed to keep it in a little bit longer.
Right.
So
I also have a question. You said carnation. So were you supposed to use evaporated milk, not sweetened
Maybe.
condensed milk?
it didn't say nothing about milk.
You
Oh,
just
you
was
just
like,
felt like
None of the
splitting it.
ingredients said
he was
milk.
adding in the milk.
He was just
I was in there
trying
like,
something new.
doing stuff with
yeah, I
science
was like, let's
in
do
the
it. Let's
lab.
see what we do.
I love this
And
experimentation. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
so I tried the sweetened condensed milk. I finally tried it, and it was womp womp. And
So sorry.
I think
Womp
what it was, it said brownies. The person that I was looking at, they was talking about sweetened condensed milk for brownies because I think you're supposed to add milk
Oh.
to certain brownies. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
hey, I got me this sweet cake. Let me do this. So
They might have. Did
yeah.
they add cream cheese also? Because it might have been the
What?
cheesecake brownies. Yeah, some people
I don't
make them that
know.
way. Oh no, fudge is condensed milk and chocolate. Maybe they were making really fudgy
When
brownies.
you ever heard of a poke cake, GT?
Oh yeah,
You
those are
cook
good.
the cake, and when you take it out to cool, you poke it
Right.
like in a grid pattern, and that's when you dump the sweetened condensed milk on.
Yeah.
And then it sucks
What?
Yeah. It sucks it up. It's like
Yeah.
tres leches. That's what they do with tres leches
It's
down
so
here. They
good.
do. It's very good. And then the tres leches, they then go and add whipped cream on top.
Cool Whip,
Oh
whatever.
wow.
Mm-hmm. It's 3 different milks.
Okay then.
Tres leches.
We
I'm
like
gonna see
Yeah,
cake.
what that
pudding
do.
mix is good. Pudding mix is good too.
Shawnee loves
Pudding
cake.
mix.
I love
So when
cake
you're
too.
Pudding
making a
mix.
cake, like from the box, there's a secret hack of making the box cake better, and it's throwing those directions away. And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and you take 1 stick of melted butter, 1/4 a cup of made pudding. So like if it's a chocolate cake, chocolate pudding, a vanilla cake, vanilla pudding, a vanilla cake with banana pudding you can do. And then it's like 1 cup of milk, and I think it's 4 eggs. And that makes a good cake out of a boxed cake.
Mm-hmm.
And don't, there's little hacks you can do with baking, but you have to understand
Right.
like what does this do? What does that do? So you're going to get it down now that
Yeah.
you're off the wagon already with it. So let's just keep
Right.
going.
Yeah. I think my first one, GT was let me just try coffee instead of water in the box cake mix
The
for
what?
chocolate cake. I use coffee. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
It's like a first step.
Chocolate mocha
Chocolate
cake.
mocha. It makes it richer. I did that, and then it was like, okay, well,
What else
I
can
really
I do?
love chocolate ganache, so how do you make that? And I saw an easy recipe for the chocolate ganache frosting, and it really was just like whipped cream. It was heavy cream. You heat it up until you start to see the steam. So it's that hot. You get little mini chocolate chips. You pour it over the chocolate chips. You let it sit there for a little bit, and then you kind of whisk it, and then you put plastic wrap over the top. Put it in your fridge and let it get real cold. And you whip that up and you put that on that chocolate cake. And oh my gosh, it's so good. Now I want that.
Let's all take a break. Let's all take a break and go make some of that right now.
Let's go make some cake.
And then we'll come back and we'll all eat it.
Now, see, that right there should be a video. Everything that y'all just said, because I'm a regular box cake dude. I don't bake.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
I
things
baked
we
some
could do
biscuits
inside.
because I made some. We had breakfast Tuesday night, I think it was. We had Tuesday. Tuesday we had breakfast for dinner, and it was beautiful. I mean, we did wonderful. And then today I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and make this cake. And womp womp.
I actually have
I'm
cake
learning.
mix sitting on my counter.
You didn't do anything wrong. It's just if it's fallen, it might have been taken out too early, right? Or that's the basic thing with when a cake will fall. It's like it's got too cold too fast, It's kind of that sort of thing. So
or not enough for it to rise too. If you didn't have like a soda, like a baking soda in the mix, and it wasn't ready for that.
My favorite cake, and it was probably one of the first ones that I ever made was the wacky cake, or I forget what it's also called, but this one you make it in the pan where you're just putting your flour, your baking soda, baking powder, your sugar, your cocoa, and just kind of, whisk it all together. And then you make 3 holes across it, and you put vinegar in one, vegetable oil in another, and the third one some vanilla. And then you pour warm water over it, mix it all up, throw it in there, make a really great kind of mocha icing on it, and it is just moist and delicious. There's no eggs, no milk, no nothing. It was another name for it was it was a cake that they when they used to have
the Great Depression cake.
Yeah, it's a depression.
Yeah, cake. I was wondering if it was something from the Great Depression when you said those 3 things are out of it. It sounded like that.
And it's like, and it's a whipped together cake. Like it's like, oh, I've got company coming for dinner tonight. Well, I'm just going to whip up a wacky cake, and and serve it with
people use mayo in it too. Sometimes, like they would use a mayo chocolate cake or a sour cream chocolate cake. Those things boggle my mind.
Sounds like you did a great job, GT.
Yeah,
don't
keep going. Like
it might
Johnny
look like
said,
a dog's breakfast, but it tasted good. That's what it is. Did it taste good? Yes.
Yes. I didn't need frosting on it. Like I was like, I'm just gonna eat it. It ain't gonna. I used to eat cake batter. When you finish when my parents used to mix it, they'll have the little bit residue on there, and they'll give me just a little the blender thing or whatever. So they'll give that to me, and I got to lick it off. Yeah, I got to lick it off. And I'm still
remember
here.
those things.
Yes. And then when my sister came around, I couldn't do that because she had to have some too. I had to share.
Look at that face.
But
what, one didn't take the bowl and one got the beaters? That's like what we did.
Yes, but I had the beater and the bowl when I was little. And then she had to be born. Yeah. And
right.
then I had to learn how to share. But it was cool.
Beater.
All right.
Yeah.
Putting my hand up. I'm putting my hand up.
Diva.
Okay, I need you to see this because I got this. This happened. Rob Ballantyne, you need to write some stuff about what's going on here because I'm going to show some pictures because I got this from Homestead Aquarius. He just sent me this. So this is Rob's house.
Oh,
and an iceberg is. Look at this.
Oh, and he got
and
one of his
talking.
That came all off the roof there, it looked like.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. So you got some splaining to do.
Because the roof does look clean.
It does. Like off the roof.
You just need to come and tell us what's going on here.
It's like
frozen. And
got called out.
And it piled up and crashed that window.
Yeah, that looks really.
It was last year,
Rob. Okay.
I gotta go find you on Facebook here.
Lake Simcoe.
Where is that at?
Lake Simcoe.
Roof-a-lanch.
Roof-a-lanch. Are we not friends on Facebook, probably. Rob?
Ontario, Canada, GT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know anything about geography.
No,
you and Carol both.
Let's go sailing, GT. You and I, we'll just in our family. Never be seen again.
As soon as you said that, Carol, and then me thinking about us not knowing geography, I thought about Christopher Columbus. No lie.
Right.
Hey, Rob,
we gonna go on a voyage, huh?
I'm just gonna put the. Let me just get rid of this. Stop sharing. So, Rob, I am going to go. You follow my page. Well, I thought we were. I'm pretty sure we're Facebook friends. We've chatted, but I'm going to put the link up here, and you can, if you don't mind, you don't have to show your face if you don't want, but come on up and tell us what's going on in your place.
He said, "Heavy wind."
Yeah, last year.
That was some serious heavy wind, dude. Ow.
So apparently I don't follow you, Rob.
Yeah, I need to too.
We have concrete here. Like you can see the asphalt here. There's like
It's that melted? Wow.
oh my goodness. This is really an experience.
Above.
Are you guys getting
temps.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Your turn,
Go ahead, Shawnee. No, your turn.
I just said, so are you experiencing above average temps? We are about to. We are going to have all our snow melt this week, and I'm very upset about it.
We are at 29 degrees.
29?
We have been, yes, we have been in the 30s all week.
Wow.
So this is February. This is supposed to be our coldest month.
Yeah.
So.
And you're warm.
You gave it to the rest of the world.
Yes, and I just hope y'all give us some of that heat. We need it.
That's what I was going to ask next. Are you, now that you dumped it on us, are you guys seeing any spring birds? Because that's what we were talking about before. We were saying like certain birds are starting to show up. Mike was talking about the different birds showing up at his feeder, and he's kind of, other people are waiting to see the robins. That's like a clear sign. Do you guys have any birds that come up to Alaska that it's like, oh, okay, we're going to get warm weather? Like here they are. No,
I don't know. All I know is if I see a bird, I just say, "Oh, that's a pretty bird." That's all I know. I don't know anything else.
It's like Marine's truck. I drive a blue truck. I drive a blue truck. What kind of truck is that? I got a blue truck.
It's blue.
It's like that. Yes, it's blue.
Yeah.
So this also. So Homestead Aquarius is just so you know, Rob. Homestead Aquarius, he goes, I got to follow someone if they've got an iceberg that's going through their, colliding with their house. And he goes, these are on his community page. So you've got a stalker in Homestead Aquarius right now. But look at that. Look at that.
It's so blue. What would do that?
That's some real snow then. That's beautiful.
There you are. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's add Rob to the stage.
Hold on,
let me get rid of my
I did it. There we go.
Welcome, Rob.
Hello.
So fill us in. What is going on and what has happened? And what are all these pictures about?
Hello. How are you?
We're good.
Good.
So that was a picture that a friend sent me last year. So in referring to the ice flowing into a house,
right?
Oh,
oops!
You're back.
You're back. He might
maybe
not see it on his
I'm trying to figure out how this app works here.
Oh, you're fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Do you still have the other? Do you have the live on right now? Because you can't have both of them. So you're here up here in this area. If you still have the YouTube going, you need to turn that one off because
I'm going to turn that off.
There you go.
It'll help.
That'll help you because then you're not hearing yourself twice.
Yeah.
That was the issue. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's okay.
So this was a friend's.
Yeah, so that was a friend's place who lives right off of Lake Simcoe, and they get pretty intense winds. And last year was there was never really a good amount of ice on the lake, and so there was a heavy wind, and he's just on the shore looking out to the west, and the whole length of the lake. So it's about a 40-kilometer wide lake, and all the ice just blew to one side, and so all the houses on the one side of the lake just got bulldozed by all the ice that blew right through the houses. So it happens every now and then. It's part of living on the lake. So
Oh, it's
Ah.
like little icebergs because of that coloring. Icebergs appear blue because of the way the light interacts with the ice's structure. So it was a lot of ice, like probably chunks.
Yes.
That's why it went through too. It was real hard. It looks like an iceberg. Like, oh, look, there's a beautiful iceberg headed for my house. Yikes.
It's just amazing.
It's a beautiful
And so
color,
where is this Lake Simcoe?
So it's about just about an hour north of Toronto. So I'm about 45 minutes north east of Toronto, northwest of Toronto, and this is about an hour due north of Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just and it makes a lot of noise when it moves too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Like you just hear this roaring rumble of.
It's so every year is so Lake Simcoe, for those who know the area. It's actually a very popular area for a lot of Americans come up. So it's the snowmobiling capital of this area. So you get a lot of people coming from all around for snowmobiling on the lake. But this year, we've gotten just a tremendous amount of snow, and so there's about maybe 2 feet of ice, and then you've got about a foot or 2 feet of slush, and then 3 or 4 feet of snow on top of the slush. And so now it's very hard. So all the snowmobilers are out on the lake, and they get stuck. And the snowmobile basically sinks down below the below all the snow on the surface, gets stuck in the slush, and so people are trying to hire helicopters to get their snowmobiles off the lake now. So it's a pretty crazy winter this year anyway.
Is it a swimmable lake as well?
Yeah, people swim. A lot of people fish the lake. It's not to the scale of like a Lake Ontario or Lake Superior, but it's a pretty big lake, so great for fishing.
See if I can do this one here. So yeah, that is pretty big. So
oops, we're not seeing it.
Share. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it just fine.
I've done that plenty. We got a snort. Cute.
So, and Rob, you're a beekeeper too, aren't you?
Yeah, so I run. I've got about 110 hives that I operate. So I've been keeping bees for about this will be my 10th season. Hoping to hope. So I run a cut flower business with my wife. Homestead, keep bees. Unfortunately, that doesn't really pay the bills, so I have to contract as well. But it's we enjoy it. So we homeschool we've got 3 kids. We homeschool, my wife and I, and it's this is actually I like the winter because it's kind of it's a bit of a reprieve. Things kind of slow down, and you can actually think. During the summer, there's no time to think. You just have to work.
That's true. It's just head down, keep going forward.
Yeah.
Right. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. Right. And because I've just been kind of eyebrows deep in videoing and editing and stuff like that. So with your channel, is it just you, or does your wife come on as well?
So she's interested. She hasn't really been on. We're probably going to be setting up a different channel at some point for the flowers. So we've got about we'll have about 450 different varieties of dahlias we'll be doing. So we really scaled it up last year. Did a lot of cut flowers that we're selling in some markets and in town. And so she's kind of got this. It's almost like you get this bug for these flowers, and once you start going down the rabbit hole of these flowers, it never ends, and so you can never have all the varieties. You keep Oh, I have to get this one. I have to get that, and so we so she's been doing that, and now I'm realizing, wow, I typically be doing like a greenhouse of tomatoes and cucumbers, but this last year I just didn't have the time. It's just flowers.
Right. Oh, you're a little bit frozen there. We'll just wait that out. So that's awesome. So, oh, there you're moving again. Can you say something to make sure that we can still hear you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, you just froze for a little bit there, and then now you're back in business. So, yeah. So, because I think what it would be cool is I was, chatting with Shawnee over the last couple of days about. I interviewed Shawnee a few months ago, and I would like to start interviewing people on a regular basis. And I thought that might be fun if I, had you and your wife, if she wanted to be up on camera, and I would pre-send you some questions and. Just so that YouTube and the internet can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So I have found you on Facebook because I was looking for Rob. I wasn't looking for Jevan.
Yeah, it's Jevan. So I Rob is my middle name, and I kind of go. So Jevan is a Welsh name, but it's notoriously people just can't pronounce it. So I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to go by my middle name. That way, it's just easier, and I'm not correcting people. So
right. We were actually talking about that in another live. My grandmother was full Welsh, and the whole side of that family moved up to Newfoundland or down to New York, and they were all scattered throughout. So that was neat. I didn't know that was a Welsh name. And you say it Jevan?
I say it just Jevan, kind of like
Jevan.
I tell people like Kevin, but with a J, so Jevan.
Right. Yeah, my husband has to do that. It's his name is Theron, and we have to say it's Sharon, but with a T. Theron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Sorry. It is a cool name.
Cool. Well, I'm number one. I'm glad that the iceberg did not hit your home.
Well, my house is covered. We probably have about over 4 feet of snow on the ground, so it's been a challenge. Particularly, I've got about half of my bees outside, and they're just buried in snow. So keeping them, keeping them out of the snow has not been easy. So it's warming up soon, so I'll probably be digging them out tomorrow morning, and hopefully that'll be it for the heavy snow. So
right, very, very cool. Yeah, because that's a challenge. Because like we've learned so much about bees through DC Bees here, which he said he recognized you as well. I'm not sure if you. If you guys have been in communication in the past together.
Yeah, beekeeper chat.
He's probably the last couple months there. He started, watching my videos, and I was watching his there. So yeah, it's good to make these types of connections, right?
Absolutely. So then, do you sell honey as well?
Yeah, so I sell honey and sell pollen. I started doing creamed honey as well. So I wouldn't say it's the primary business. I primarily keep bees, and I sell what would be called nucleus hives, like nukes. So through the season, I'll raise bees, raise queens, multiply my stock, and then if I can successfully overwinter them, then I'll sell them in the spring to other people who want to start beekeeping. So
cool. Cool. Well, I will get in contact with you through Facebook and or I can even just see on your YouTube channel just to get your email there.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
and we could set up a time and make some connections and
That would be
from
great.
there. So thank you so much. You're welcome to, kind of hang out on panel, or it's up to you.
I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
Rob. So I just heard you mention, so sometimes your bees don't winterize that well there. Is that what you mentioned just then?
I usually have about 80 to 90% success over winters. A bad winter would be about like 60%, but over the past 10 years I've done reasonably well getting through winters. So
that's cool.
I know DC was struggling with that was his main goal, was to keep his hives alive for this winter, because he, I think, had a bad winter last winter, he was talking about.
What's your grow zone, Rob?
So I am 5B.
Okay.
Ooh, chewy.
Wow.
But I'm in
the reason why
80s.
Go
ahead, sorry.
I went to a seminar a couple of weeks ago, and I went to this bee class, and they were talking about how it's impacted Alaska, because we have a lot of bees that travel up here, as far as they purchase them and then they come in through the airport or whatever. But they say they only get about 10% of the bees survive their hive. And then once they survive, they still don't recover as well. So a guy was talking about his, go ahead.
A lot of there are a lot of in parts of the US it's not as common where I am, but there's a lot of migratory beekeeping. So basically beekeepers who follow whatever needs pollination. So the very first would be the almonds in California, right? And then it would be, the pears and the apples. And generally, and then there would presumably be some pollination. I don't know what would be grown, maybe wild blueberries or whatever, things that need to be pollinated. But the mortality rate of, what you would call migratory bees is generally much higher than bees that don't migrate, right? So see, basically you just have, tractor trailers full of bees, and they move from place to place to place, depending on what the crop needs to be pollinated, right? And it's one of those issues. Like, I think every beekeeper really understands that it's not really good for the bees. It's not really ideal, but it's
a necessity.
We're obsessed with monocultures, and when you have monocultures, pollination needs to be imported, right? So the fact is, if California, like, you look at the almonds in California, 2 million, they estimate 2 million beehives need to be moved into California just to get like a good almond crop. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get your almond milk from Starbucks. I don't know.
GT Junior is up in Alaska, actually. So he is very north.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard that about the almond flowers though before, probably from DC.
We were just talking about this over on my channel, that in February, these migratory beekeepers were getting ready to take them over for the almond pollen party, and 50-60% of the bees inside aren't alive anymore, even though they have enough honey. And they're taking surveys from beekeepers and samples from the hives to figure out if there's, some kind of contamination, a pathogen, a parasite, a disease, like what is happening in these colonies. Because yes, we rely on these bees getting moved around for our food supply, and that the almond pollen is a full nutrient source for the bees. And it's, we talked about what can we do as far as our locale, and it's planting more pollinator patches.
Yeah, Shawnee's, I think you've done talked about twice on your lives with bees in the news. So
bees in the news. Okay.
Bees in the news. And she was sharing that with us and so like it's a serious thing going on and right now for California.
It's kind of a challenge because beekeepers, like, it's well known within within the researchers who study this, that when you have a whole bunch of bees together, it's kind of like having like those industrial chicken farms where one chicken gets sick and it can easily spread to the 20,000 other chickens, right? And so the same thing kind of applies to bees, where, if you bring all the bees from continental America all to one place, and there's some pathogen or some virus in some of those hives, then that will very quickly spread to all the other hives. And then all those hives return home from their pollination work. And then, you've got all these new pathogens. It's really, it creates a problem, that people are trying to work on solutions, but nothing as of yet. And sadly, it's almost like every 10 years now, there's this massive die-off where 50% or more of the bees end up dying. So not particularly, not an example of a sustainable industry, unfortunately.
No, exactly. And it's like, well, why aren't we making shifts to change that? We're just going to keep repeating this cycle. Like 2007, 2008, we had this.
Again, that's kind of, it all kind of goes hand in hand with monocultures and, just growing crops in such a way that, people want almonds, and there's only so many places you can grow them. People want certain crops, and the other thing is, for a beekeeper, you can make like $200 or even more per hive. So if you just rent out your hive for a few weeks, you can make a couple $100. That's a lot more money than a lot of people make selling honey, right? It's so there's that incentive as well, right? So yeah, it's hard, and there's a lot of disagreement, and a lot of people have different opinions. I sympathize with all the people who, it's their livelihoods, right? It's not easy to lose. There's one fellow I was watching who lost 2,500 hives. You're talking about, just a lifetime of work just gone, right? Very, very hard to watch, right?
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Pastor McCarty said, usually if a bee is sick, the other bees won't let it live in the hive.
Yeah, I saw something where you have like bouncer bees, that if some of the bees come back with like fermented pollen and they're a little drunk, that these little bouncer bees at the front of your hive might say, no, can't bring that in here, Joe. You're a little bit wasted, and it might have something. Is that like true, or was that just somebody making that up on a short?
I think that there are guard bees. So every hive will have guard bees. Usually they're protecting the hive from other bees that would be stealing resources, or hornets or wasps or ants. I've even had there was one hive that I opened up, and there were snakes sitting up on the crown board right at the top. So there's a hive full of bees, and then I open up, like, what the heck? There's snakes in there. So that was a first, and the bees seemed to be okay with it, which was kind of bizarre. So okay, anyway, but yeah, there's a whole every hive, there's kind of a hierarchy of employment where all the different worker bees will fulfill different roles within that hive, right?
Okay. So they don't necessarily recognize like a disease. Like, would they recognize a bee that might be sick and kick it out?
Usually if a bee is sick, they'll kick themselves out voluntarily. So they don't really see themselves as I don't think that and usually it wouldn't just be one bee is sick. What I've seen sometimes it's more like I've had it happen before with especially with crop dusting where some pesticides or herbicides will get sprayed, and I had it happen a few years ago where farmer didn't tell me that they were getting the spray done, and you end up seeing all your bees just completely disoriented in front of your hive. They just they're just reeling from the toxins that have been that they've taken in from the spray, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really often that it would just be one. It's either you'd see a whole bunch of them, or it would or just you'd have a pile of dead bees from whatever was sprayed, right?
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, and it's like and they are, they're part of the first aspect. Like once we grow the food, we need those to help the pollen get around and for our plants to grow. Like you have to have bees to have food.
Right. Yeah, it's getting really scary. And even like listening to tonight, like when we were talking about trying to get rid of pests, as we're getting rid of pests in the gardens, we have to be mindful too of the bees. And like Diatomaceous earth, DCBs, was saying, like, we use it because it's an organic thing, but it kills bees. And even beneficial bugs will not just eat.
Bugs.
Yeah, it kills all bugs. And then same thing with certain beneficial bugs. Like people are like, oh, I love dragonflies because the mosquitoes. And DC was like, they also eat bees. They will eat bees. And I was like, I never really thought about that. Oh my gosh, yeah. They're not discriminatory. It's a meal. So
yeah. I'm grateful to have, like, I've got dragonflies in my yard, but I've got tons of bees just because of the type of flowers that are in my garden. Like I just have swarms around my California lilac and what are the other ones?
Are you in Victoria Marine?
Yeah, I'm on Vancouver Island.
Okay, so there's probably a lot of beekeepers in your area as well.
Yeah. Yeah, my son used to work for a company called Babe's Honey, and we have hives, or not we, they have hives here, and then they had hives up in just outside of Dawson Creek. Would you know where that is? So it's kind of northern east of in British Columbia here. So and my son would transport, they would be moving the hives from here to up there and back and forth and stuff like that. And they've got really good honey that they sell within the commercial industry. It's a great honey. So he used to work for them. But his attitude is all beekeepers are a little bit crazy because I think they get stung a few too many times and then they're all a little weird.
Yes. But you know what? There's actually there's people who pay to get stung by bees, and that's kind of something that's like this whole bee venom therapy. I was totally unaware of it until I spoke with someone who who says, oh yeah, I go to a clinic and I pay to be stung by bees. I thought, you're crazy. You should I can sell you a hive here. You save a lot of money.
All right, there you go. Just don't wear your stuff around the bees.
Yeah.
Like flowers for bees. There you go. Yeah, not everybody's meant to do it.
There is that other therapy where the bees are in some sort of box and you lay on
bed.
top.
Yeah.
Bee bed or something like that.
Cool, the bee bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember looking that up one night on here.
That was really cool. Just to hear that vibration because of whatever tone that they're doing is supposed to be really, really good. So,
yeah. Mike's saying it supposedly helps MS. Mike, I heard it also helped a woman clear Lyme.
but they were the Africanized one, and it was all by accident. She thought she was dying, and then she seemed to be doing fine. She got away at like an Airbnb, went for a walk, and she got swarmed. Thought, okay, I guess this is how I go out. And instead, once she, recovered from that, she noticed she was feeling way better than before she got stung. She looked it up, and supposedly, yeah, it's helped other people with Lyme. But I don't know if I'd want to volunteer for the Africanized because they've also taken people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very welcome. Thank you, Kentucky Goblin. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you tonight too. Sorry.
Yep.
Thanks for popping in. Yeah. But yeah, no, bees are very fascinating. I have no desire. I would, if I had property, I think I would have a beekeeper come and look after bees, but it's not something that I don't care to have the learning curve of learning how to work with bees and stuff. There's enough on my plate. I'm just chickens. I look after chickens, and I might get a milk cow one day if I have a property. I might, but again, it's like, that's a lot of work.
Right.
One thing I can say, and I've kept all sorts of animals. I've had goats, I've had sheep, pigs, cows. The one thing that I really like about bees, and I think why I went big into bees, is you can actually leave them. So every other animal, like chickens, you can't leave them. Like, you're married to those animals. So like my bees, like I've got 6 different yards where I keep bees, and I'll have a yard and they can, through the winter, I don't need to see those bees for 4 months, right? I'll come back in the spring, and they're fine. So that's one aspect that for someone who's working and and wants to have some sort of animal or something like that, but you just don't have the time to care for them every day, or I travel a fair bit for work as well. And if you it's sometimes, like, you don't milk that cow, you're gonna have they're gonna have mastitis. There's gonna be a problem. And same with chickens, like you can't miss the feeding, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas you can get away with chickens, like, as long as, depending on your predator proof, but if you have an automatic door that's going to let them in and out, because I can leave a big container of I don't fill up their feed trough. Mind you, my ladies would be very upset if they didn't get their mash ferment every single day. They put up a fuss. It's like, life cannot go on. The dry food is not enough. We need to have the wet food, and then we eat the dry food, but we need the wet food right now. And if we haven't, we're going to starve. We're going to die. We might as well just die. That's how my chickens are. So they have to have their wet mash every day, or I hear about it. But
all right, y'all. Well, I got to go.
All right. Good to see you.
Yes.
GT, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, I better get going. I gotta call it a night here. But thank you very much for the invite, and we'll be in touch, Marie.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. We will, certainly. Thanks for coming up.
All right, take care.
Great.
Bye-bye.
That's great. That's good info. Bye.
Yeah, we won't be here.
Jevan. Yeah.
Oh, look at that puppy.
Yeah, that's sweet. There you go.
Like the puppy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Cute.
Very cute.
Bye, Jevan. Thank you.
Bye.
Nice
Bye,
meeting
Jevan.
you. Bye.
Take care. Every day, have bees.
Right.
Such good information.
That was good information.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, all the different things, like, when that's again why you go, I love the lives, because it's like we learned so much, from Andrew's Northwest Coins. We've learned so much about, and like, especially when it's something that is so different than our everyday life. And then even GT Junior, when he would take us out and show us like how freaking much snow there was, again, it's like you just go, it's a different world altogether. And DCBs, and then now Jevan, the two people who just fill you with, you go, like, I know bees are important, but when you're listening to beekeepers speak, then you really know how important. And then like the bees in the news that you were sharing, it was like almond crops are not going to do well this year.
No. And my son drinks
that's
almond milk, like a lot of non-dairy kids. Like
so then it's like, what do they need to do? So the problem is the lack of the bees, but there is a monoculture. So what is it that they need to do to not just have just like fields and fields of almonds? What is it that they need to bring in that balance, right?
That's a hard one because they rely on almonds as the non-dairy substitute for a lot.
Yeah.
And especially since people started to leave soy, hop away from that.
Rice milk.
Oh.
Okay, good night, Pastor McQuaddy. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, love.
Right.
We appreciate you. All the best, and all the best to your brother.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Rice milk. But that's like also like oat, like both are carb, but they're definitely for people too who can't have nut milks.
Yeah,
it's a good alternative. But
because I can't have any nut milk, so I was doing the rice milk, and I will do oat milk.
Hemp milk is rough. I will say that. At least it was rough on our son because we tried to do like a mixture because the hemp has those, good fatty acids in it. Well, the fatty acids made their way through him a little too fast, we'll just say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I tried to get the best, and it's still, you don't know what they're really doing to it.
Yeah, my thoughts are on the whole solution of these. I mean, I would like to go and see on the internet, because I don't travel, these almond places, farms, right? Or whatever they're called, Nut Grove, and to go, okay, where's the diversity here? Why aren't we, is it because bees can't survive there because of a certain like temperature or weather, or it's just plain old, you guys haven't taken the time to build generations up and have their food and have their habitat where they can just be there. What is going on?
Well,
visually see.
I do know about some of the almond business out in California is also owned by a certain business that owns pomegranates, who was getting crap about using a lot of the water resources in California.
Gotcha, Diva.
And they renamed their company Wonderful as like a kind of backhanded slap to the people who were coming after them. Like, oh no, our company's wonderful. We treat everything wonderful. We treat the environment wonderful. We treat our water usage wonderful. So they are one of the main growers out there. So that look into them.
Yeah, it's like green labeling, same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me want to look into, Carol, like what's next then? What's the next monocropped thing that we use, we bring in bees for that now is going to be affected? And we can't be like telling the public this, because then they're going to buy all the almonds off the shelf or whatever, like last year's harvest is what's, on the shelves now. And then, but to have a head space about, well, if you rely on the milk, if you rely on these, like, start figuring something out now, because you might see a price increase. You might see them going to be not as many on the shelf, this kind of thing. And there's going to be more. And it makes me want to look at the breadcrumb trail of what's after almonds. What's the next thing that they would have moved them to?
And that's so, just like what we were talking about earlier. Okay, where is the documentation about the bees? Who is putting it out? Because is there somebody who might be working for those companies that sells these products that is saying, oh no, it's a huge die-off. So then it causes the consumer to panic, and they do go and buy up what might be not, going out as fast this year because people can't afford the almond milk and they've switched to something else.
Like oat.
Things like that. Yeah. Like, well, goat's not cheap either.
Oat.
Like when we were looking, oat, sorry. Yes. Oat is the new thing. So you're right.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So you're right. Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like something might have affected their market share, and because, They can be ruthless. What they plant, like we just learned too, just even about people who are in Hollywood, how they have their own plants in newspapers that write articles for them that do like propaganda about them that's positive, or they'll use that person to spread negative stuff about another person that they want to take down. It's crazy. Well, companies have the same thing.
There was
So
a. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I thought you were
No, I
gonna
was going to say, as consumers, we have to be aware of that the
Yeah.
companies pay off people to put stuff out there. They pay off scientists to make studies, things like that.
It was 2 years ago, I believe it was. There was like a 90% loss of bees in Florida.
Yeah.
Because of
Well,
I think it was CCD was the disease.
Yeah.
I don't remember knowing about that 2 years ago.
No, and
No.
all our fruit looked fine to me. But then again, we
So
don't
it's
get
like,
fruit from here so much. You guys do. You get our fruit.
yeah.
We do get some of our strawberries. We do get some of our, I believe, our citrus. But we get a lot of California and Mexico.
My strawberry truck comes again on Friday next week, and I can't wait. From
And
Florida.
yours were like fist-sized strawberries.
Little apples.
Which, yeah, I don't think ours were
Two
even that big
hands
when
to
I
hold
went.
strawberry.
I know. I love them when they're like that. Whatever cultivar that is. Oh, I love that. Need to move. Need to move more central Florida.
Good night, Duncan. Thank you so much for coming
Good night,
in,
Duncan.
hanging out with us. Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. So these early mornings and late nights for me.
Nights, I know.
Yeah. I've got to balance myself because I'm unsupervised.
You're unsupervised.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about just even taking a break altogether from YouTube. Do it. Even Howie was talking about that tonight, like a sabbatical. Just a sabbatical time, and just shutting certain things down, quieting things.
Yeah, a lot of people do. They will take a couple of months off, and
you had talked about that, and it didn't really affect them too much. But they were probably larger channels, right? No.
Oh, what is this? What is this?
I have scheduled a party for all to come into the land of Shawnee Grows on Monday night. I'm going to try and start at 9 Central to celebrate a goal we have met because of all of you. And I would like you all to come and get some time up on the panel and do nice things and say nice things and be appropriate on my panel and have a good time.
Are you going to have the cake? Will you make sure that we all get some cake?
I know we were all talking about the cakes. Are you going to make one of the dump cakes or one of the little whole cakes that you pour things in?
The Pepperidge Farm cake that she showed us.
Her
Tomorrow is
special
grocery
cake.
day, and I can put it on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Her special cake.
I want to have that Pepperidge Farm cake.
I do too.
You guys, so we did put the link up in there, so you can go and
notify me.
You can go. Click this little notify me button so that you don't miss it out. So it's live in 45 hours, just 45 hours. So click that notification on, and it will make sure that you're notified for when it's going to happen.
Appropriate behavior. I'm out.
Yeah, there's not going to be a topic. There's not going to be anything researched. We're gonna try and
we're gonna just celebrate.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So it's at 9
Homestead
p.m.
Aquarius.
Your
You can
time?
just hush.
Central.
Hush.
Huh?
So 10 your time.
Yeah. Okay,
1987.
And
so
that's
it's 7
if my life works.
I know.
Your life will work.
I might have to move it later.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is usually where my life works.
I wanted to plan it. I wanted to pick a day and plan it, and I want to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Because I have more stuff I want to talk about, of course, and I want to do this party. So.
Yep. So congratulations to Shawnee Grows for hitting her 1,500 hours. In that August, September, October, November, December, January. So 7 months she got.
That's good.
She got 7 months. She got 1,500 hours, which is pretty freaking good.
So
we do need to go and support her.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're jamming faster than we were, I think, on that. Like, you're doing amazing.
I think it was
I don't think because we didn't do like the whole goal thing and like go like
Oh no, I
okay
had goals.
now.
I didn't write them down and I didn't make plans.
Yeah.
I just
I had thoughts.
my first year I wasn't even part of a community. I didn't even know anybody. I thought I was all by myself watching all these other people.
I was just floating around, not really doing much, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I understand.
Yes.
Wasn't a goal then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we all did.
Yes, you did.
Storms.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Indeed. And a big huzzah.
Right. Yep. Oh, and 7 more subs. We all did.
7 more subs for her to hit 500. So even that, like in the next 45 hours, let's all kind of go come and sub her. So she's celebrating 1,500 and 500 subs all at the same time. We can do that in 45 hours, right?
I think so.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody make sure,
replay.
are you subscribed to Shawnee Grows? Get on her sub list. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. So yes, I think we are going to start saying our good nights and our goodbyes. And so thank you, of course, to Carol, my lovely co-host, and for Shawnee Grows for coming up and showing off the dirt merch. And of course, Sharon for being the best moderator in town or in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody's channel gets shouted out. Like it's like she takes over Nightbot, you know, and awesome. Neither of them, I pay neither of them to do this either. But she does a much better job than Nightbot does.
Right.
And also for GT Junior for coming on up and saying hello, howdy do. And for us meeting Jevan. Thank you so much, Jevan. And I do look forward to you know, coming up with some good questions and spending some time, you know, kind of doing that. And that's another thing. I was going to put it on my community tab, which I will, because I was wanting to try to find channels just to interview, just to get to know them a little bit more, because they've got a world of knowledge to share with us, and which is awesome. And so it gives us this opportunity. So even if you've been hanging around for the chat for a while, it would be lovely. You know, it's a 30-minute, 45-minute interview, and it's great. Shawnee did well. Yeah, she didn't die.
She did great. Yeah, I have one
when I interviewed you.
Waiting for an interview. He's a small channel. His name is LP Nursery. If you could help him out, he doesn't even have 50 subs yet. I actually met him through Facebook. Georgia berry grower, and he's just starting like his YouTube channel, and he's starting a berry nursery.
Nice.
So he's setting his whole thing up. Yeah.
That's very
It's nice to see everybody wanting to grow and even wanting to learn more or teach what they know. So we won't be that generation for our kids where it's like, well, I didn't get to learn anything from them because. Thank you. That was quick. Dang.
So thank you so very much. Oh yeah, there is Leonard's Place Nursery, LP Nursery. Did anybody share out Miss Sharon's channel?
Oh, I don't think we did.
She gets missed all the time. I'm just gonna go grab it here. She doesn't do her own self-promotion to go, hi, here's me. So I'm going to do that one. I try to make sure when I'm quiet to give her a great shout out, because it's like she just is amazing, and she's I think you know, you're in my community, and then you're almost the first one to watch my videos and to chat about them, and so it's just
fantastic.
Yeah, so I do
really
get it,
because I'm over here. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, that does not look right. It looks like StreamYard. It looks like I did not copy and paste it. So I think that's not her thing. Who knows what I put. And you got some congratulations coming to you there, Miss Shawnee.
Yes, thank you, GT.
I was on Miss Sharon's, but I don't know what I didn't click
because
her.
Yeah, I did it.
It still has the StreamYard in it.
This is hers right here that I just put in.
Okay, awesome.
Her link. Yeah, that was a weird link. What is that?
I have no. It was what's in the top. I went from there.
You might want to take that down. Delete that. That's it. Yeah, that's.
There.
That's us. There you go.
There you go.
Off. Right. I saw that. I saw that hand action.
Oh, Miss my Renaissance grandma, thank you so much for coming in. There's another one that she always shares me
wonderful.
out. I really do appreciate that as
Same.
well. So we're just closing it down. So good night to you all, and I wish you all a wonderful Sunday tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Grow something and share what you're doing so that more people will take the time to grow their own